It's 2 p.m. Detroit, and you know what that means. Detroit media icon Ryan Ermanni, University of Michigan great Braylon Edwards, and of course, Maz are about to take over on Woodward Sports. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m., it's the best Detroit sports talk on Detroit's best sports network, Woodward Sports.
And welcome to the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz show, but we are without all three of them, so you know what, we're just going to treat this like a Lions post-game show.
Hey.
My name is Stick, sitting in this seat. That is Anson, sitting in that seat. We got KG. You can hear Pete in the background. Coach Joel, how's it going over there in the TD booth?
Going great, man. Good to be here.
Good to be here.
Yes, sir.
Loving James, a.k.a. Luca, taking a day off from the finals to help us out in the booth.
He does kind of look like Luca. I didn't
Doesn't
realize
he?
that.
He does.
Pause.
So the show's going to go a little bit different today, a little bit of free form. We got some topics to talk about. Obviously, we got some Lions stuff, a particular player that Anson and I are very, very both in love with.
Yes, sir.
And the position that they have him listed as on the Lions roster, I think, surprised some of us.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about that guy coming up. We're going to talk about some other Lions signings. They got a kicker.
Yes.
The Lions have a kicker, ladies and gentlemen.
We did it.
That means 1/3 of the team is almost complete. We special teams. We got special teams.
We did it, man. We was champion in this. We were rooting for this move, and it finally got done, man. Shout out to Jake Bates. 2-year deal. So that means they like what they saw, man.
That's right.
Get ready for some Jake Bates this year.
That's right.
Oh man, and you know what? Honestly, this is just another evolution of what Brad Holmes has done this offseason. He just slowly and methodically put together improvements at every position. I saw a graphic that was thrown up about just comparing where we were to where we are. Defensive line, Ritter's an upgrade. You know, Reader's an upgrade.
Yep.
You're talking about defensive back. You drafted upgrades. You bring in Davis. You bring in
Amik Robinson.
Right.
Yep.
Just every position that needed to be upgraded has been upgraded. And now, to me, the final piece of the puzzle with the kicker, because I swear to God, Anson, you know I'm a Dan Campbell guy, right? You know I am all in Dan Campbell. He is Jesus in my eyes, right?
Yeah, but I don't know how many more of those fourth downs you can handle, bro.
What is my only complaint about Dan Campbell?
Yeah.
My only complaint. And you know what? I take the bad with the good because, listen, him going for it on fourth down has resulted in where the Lions got to last year. So I'm smart enough of a fan to understand, like, okay, it's working, so I'm just going to shut up. But I really don't enjoy that. And now I think you're actually giving this guy an opportunity to make the correct football call. Because when you don't have a kicker that can consistently kick a 40 to 45-yard field goal, that means you're hamstringing your entire offense. You got to get within the 25-yard line to feel comfortable kicking a field goal. And at that point, why not? We're almost there. Let's go for the TD.
Mm-hmm.
So them with this signing really just elevates the team beyond what any other signing could have done because they were operating as 66% of a football team last year.
Yes, sir.
You need that third element of the special teams.
Yeah. You know, I was up here with Ryan Ermanni, and he asked us all. He went through each position group. Did we improve? And every single position group, we have improved. Maybe quarterback, you could argue, but we have a healthy, full offseason program, Hendon Hooker. And you go down the line, we've improved at every single room. When you come to the kicker, you hit the nail on the head. This is not only an issue of average, but it's an issue of below average to the point where you're scheming, you're play calling. The options that you have on a third down at the 40-yard line, they're completely changed.
Right.
So now you go to a guy whose nickname is Big Leg Bates.
Woo.
You've seen his track record of this offseason in the USFL and what the guy can do. And signing him to a 2-year deal just says, hey, we know that he's better than Turner. We know that he's better than Badgie or anybody else that we could have brought in.
And we got to see it already in game action.
That's
I mean,
right.
there are some comments right now like, hey, listen, the dude is, however, he's here and he hasn't kicked an extra point, so it's going to be a concern. That's what Anakin's saying.
Wow.
And it is a concern, right? The guy doesn't have real NFL game experience, but that is the one position that I don't think it matters, right? You can either kick a football or you can't kick the football.
And if he can make 64, you would assume he can make 25 consistently.
Right,
So.
and it's not like, if you're the first time playing offensive guard in the NFL, you got to go up against a defensive tackle that's NFL ready.
Right.
Who's he going up against?
Nobody.
A football that he's just got to kick right down the middle.
Yeah.
So, to me, the kicker really doesn't need that as long as he's been in pressure situations before.
Which he has.
It's all the same, kicking the football through the uprights, right?
Yeah, and he's kicking in the same stadium he's been kicking in. He has familiarity there with being in Ford Field. A lot of our games are going to be indoors this year, so definitely looking forward to it, especially with the new kickoff rules. Essentially, if we get past midfield, we're in field goal range.
That's right.
You're damn near guaranteed the ball at least the 35 with these new kickoff rules. So that alone is an asset to the offense. You get a couple first downs, we got guaranteed points.
Well, and what you've done is you've just given Ben Johnson a shorter field.
Absolutely.
Listen, you no longer have to go 80 yards. We just need you to go about 65 now, right? When you get the ball at the so it totally changes how Ben Johnson's going to approach the game. It totally changes how Dan Campbell's going to approach the game. And it's crazy that we're this pumped for a USFL kicker, but it was such a big gap in what they had last year that this kicker could be our Justin Tucker.
He could.
It wasn't just a deficiency. It was literally something that hamstrung this team every single weekend.
Every week.
Every single weekend. When you're up, it's not a big deal, but we obviously saw in the NFC Championship as well as many other important games how hamstrung this team was in that area of limbo. If they're between the 30 and 40 or past, you already know they're not kicking it. You already know that we are going to push a fourth down play, even if it's 3rd and 10 or 4th and 10. So being able to have this kind of safety blanket, I'm looking here. He's a college soccer player, never kicked. Coming out, graduated last year, 24-year-old guy, and he went and he lit the UFL on fire. So has the record, longest of all time, and he's a 77% guy. This just has to breathe a huge sigh of relief to Lions fans that it's not something that we're wondering about going into training camp. I think that this deal is done. This guy is our guy.
Well, now he's just got to prove it on the field, right? Because if he comes out the first couple games and botches a few, then here we go. Here we go again. Now we're back in the hunt. What was that, the year after Anson left? Didn't we go through like 3 or 4 kickers within like 8 weeks trying to find somebody?
Until we got Matt Prater,
Yeah.
You never know how blessed you are until you have the same kicker for 2 decades.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that was the problem with the Lions back then, that Jason Hanson was your best player forever. I mean, Barry was on
Led
that
the team in points.
So
year after
scoring.
year.
Jason Hanson is your all-time Lions leader in scoring. That's not a good look.
And Eddie Murray was here for a while, too.
I like that last name on him, though.
Hanson? Because it's like Anson?
It's pretty close.
Aside
from the whole Umbop thing,
topic. But a whole bunch of other stuff going on. We got the NBA Finals taking place tonight. Video game involving Detroit that I want to talk about coming up next. And we want to get the people involved today. We kind of open the lines, free form. What do you guys want to talk about? 313-552-6322 is the phone number. It's 313-552-6322. And I know, Anson, we want to discuss some fantasy football.
That's right. You think we'll hear from Biggins today?
I hope we hear from him.
Me too.
All right, shout out Biggins, man. Where you been at?
Is he in the Ermanni and Edwards chat?
I don't normally see him in there.
I don't normally see him there.
Yeah, but Biggins, if you listening, call in.
There's just something going on in his brain right now. He's like, I know Anson, stick around right now. I got to get on Woodward.
Right.
I love when that guy calls, so
yeah,
shoot us a shout, brother.
It's a preview into the season, man. We're going to have a lot of these days.
I love fantasy football talk, man.
Oh, yeah. I know nobody's going to complain about some fantasy football talk, and it is rookie draft time for many, many people and many, many dynasty
like
leagues.
us.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
indeed.
Anson and I are in a dynasty league together. I've been in it, 12 years? It's 13 years old.
This will be your 15th year.
15, okay. Well,
Out of
flies.
16.
Time flies. And it's a deep dynasty league. When you draft a rookie, you get them for 5 years. So we have 7 rounds of rookie drafts. So we go pretty deep, 42 guys on each roster.
Wow.
Y'all committed.
Yeah, my first year in this league, I'm sitting there and these guys are talking about a player. I can't remember the player name. I'm like, who the hell is that? They're like, oh, it's the practice string guy that's probably going to see some snaps. And I'm like, oh man, I am in over my head in these leagues.
You are in the weeds.
Right, he's way in the weeds.
It took me probably like 2-3 years to finally understand like how to spend my free agent dollars, how to draft a rookie, what I'm looking for, and
it is
fun
now
league,
your
though.
favorite league, though. Yeah.
Oh, by far. I mean, after we have our rookie draft, I just become infatuated with who I draft, and I become a super fan, and I root for them the whole time. Now, obviously, it leads to people like Quintez Cephas, where I get all high. I'm like, the Lions guy he would have been great if it wasn't for that lawsuit.
Yeah.
And then, Quintez Cephas gambles, and you never hear from him again.
So y'all been in the league a lot of years. Who got more dubs? Who got more chips?
I got
What's the
0
situation?
chips. Damn.
Oh, Anson got 2 chips.
Anson got 2.
Two
Stop
chips.
it.
But Anson will tell you, I build juggernauts every single year. Like, there's no reason these teams should ever lose. Ever lose.
But they do.
And they do. Last year it was Patrick Mahomes, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs,
Kelsey.
Joe Mixon, Devontae Adams,
That's a heavy
Travis
lineup.
Kelsey,
Heavy.
Amari Cooper, and I lost.
Heavy.
He lost in the finals.
That's tough.
But to be fair to Stick, it's been around for 16 years. We got 2 guys that have only been in for 5. We had to shake a couple people out. Those guys don't have championships. Everyone else in the league has championships. Oh, wait, there's one guy that doesn't.
It's me.
Uh-oh.
It's me.
Are you the Buffalo Bills of the league?
I don't know what it is. Like, there was 1 year I built
Can't
a
get
team.
it done,
It was
man.
like Calvin Johnson, Rob Gronkowski.
You have had
when Eddie Lacy
spectacular
had a
teams,
pulse.
bro.
He was on
Right.
the team. Melvin
Right.
Gordon was
Right.
on it.
Damn.
Stafford was my quarterback.
Still
Heavy.
nothing.
Nothing.
Is this why you hate Stafford?
Heavy.
Well, there's a lot that goes. I
this why
don't
you hate
hate
Stafford?
Stafford.
Now,
Yes, you do.
We're getting somewhere here,
No.
Kenny.
Yes, you do.
No.
We
Kenny,
figured it
no.
out.
We
You
got
just
somewhere.
you just have some love for Kelly, and that's why you don't say you hate him.
I do appreciate Kelly and all the support that she had for Woodward Sports
Yeah.
when we first got started, dropping
Sure.
off tons of toys for our charity and
Yeah.
all that. No, I don't hate Stafford. It's just I don't think he is what everybody thinks he is. And it's just like I had a cat my whole life, right? And people are like, oh, you hate dogs. It's like, no, just because I don't have a dog doesn't mean I hate dogs, right? I have a cat. So, like, just because I don't love Stafford like you do doesn't mean I don't, I think he's the best Lions quarterback
Used
of
to
all
love Stafford.
time
Past
until
tense.
Goff put on a uniform.
Boot 'em, kids.
And now I can have that conversation. It just, when I looked at him, he was never the guy that was going to get us there. And
sure
he
wasn't.
was never the guy that got us there.
Sure
Yeah,
wasn't.
LA there
And it
pretty
wa-
pretty fucking fast, but I'm just saying.
Oh, watch him out.
Hey,
Fox 2. I
yo.
forgot. Fox 2.
And
forgot.
he did get LA there
Sorry,
pretty
y'all.
fast on a team that was kind of built by the guy that's building this team. And then they added OBJ. Then they added Von Miller. Then they added yes, he got it done in LA. Congratulations. I wasn't rooting for him, but I wasn't rooting against him. It was like, okay, if he wins. But man, I was not an LA Rams guy.
Yeah, the
You know,
Detroit Ram
like-
thing wasn't you.
No, I just
No.
looked at it like he's gone. Like
Yeah.
He's gone.
it ran its course. It didn't work. Thanks for playing. We appreciate you. Brad Holmes did good by him. He did good by us. Everybody should be happy.
Yeah.
But because I don't sit here and gargle the dude, people are like, you hate Stafford.
Did you own him in
boo
our
the
league?
kids.
I did.
You did own him.
Yeah.
He just got moved as well. Now, I'd like to ask you, I know we can't linger on this topic forever. People do love it, though. I've been very reluctant to release my true top players at each position until after this auction, or until after the rookie draft.
This is the best part. Anson will not put out draft content on Woodward Sports till
love it.
after our draft
Love
because
it.
he's afraid someone's going to
Love it.
steal his.
Because nobody drafts like me. He's going to tell you otherwise, but he ain't got no rings, okay?
sense.
So let me just break it down.
Damn.
The number
He didn't have
one,
rings because of his drafting.
the number one
Marshawn
quarterback
Lattimore,
in this class.
number one pick.
Number one quarterback in this class is Jaden Daniels. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not just because he looks like he might be able to do things running the ball like Lamar Jackson, but his touch and accuracy to me is as high or better as any of these quarterbacks in this class, but it's his ball skills. When you look at Aaron Rodgers and you look at Pat Mahomes, the magic that they are able to create in the RPO and disguising how they hand that ball off, keep it or throw it, this kid is a dynamo. It has gone under discussed, but you guys will see it firsthand. He's my number one. JJ McCarthy, believe it or not, my Spartan butt is telling you he's number 2.
He's not even going to start.
Doesn't need to. We're talking dynasty here, gentlemen. Talking dynasty. I think he's the second best in the class. I'm going to rock you at the running back position. Mr. Trey Benson is better than Jonathan Brooks. That's the guy you want. That's the best running back in this class. He's got a very nice situation in Arizona behind a very old James Conner. And then Braylon Allen, the youngest player in the draft. He is 6'1", 240 or 6'2", 240, and he runs a 4.35. Guy's a crushing killer. Malik Neighbors is better than Marvin Harrison, but might not be able to get a chance to show it because Vanilla Vic is throwing him the rock. But if you are sleeping on Adonai Mitchell, he is a top 5 receiver in this class. He's going to be awesome in Indy. And we all know about Brock Bowers, but Jatavian Sanders. Jatavian Sanders is going to step right in and be the number 1 tight end in Carolina for Bryce Young. Everybody drafting Ben Sino in Washington. Don't sleep on Sanders. Now, you, my friend, you didn't have anything before the 3rd round, but you killed it. Can you talk about a couple picks that you really, really are high on?
Burton. That's my guy.
Jermaine
Burton. He got picked up by
Cincinnati
Bengals. And if T. Higgins goes away, which he probably will, even if he signs the franchise tag, he's only going to be there 1 year. He ain't going to be there more than 2. And this guy, had he not had legal troubles and character issues that we've heard about in the past, like Laramie Tunsil, who dropped in the draft but ended up being the best offensive lineman and a Hall of Famer. Like, we've seen this story before. Joe Mixon, character issue, turns out to be a serviceable running back in the NFL. I think he's a steal for me in the 3rd round. I honestly had him as one of my top 15 overall guys. So when he was sitting there, and then in our league, it's running back heavy. So I went straight running back right away.
And speaking of running backs,
Ray Davis, baby.
I love me some Ray Davis. My last pick of the 4th round was a guy that you guys have heard me say early and often. I was there on day 3 when I said the Lions were going to pick him. Sione Vaki.
Hey.
And if you look at the depth charts, there is not one in the land that has him as a defensive player. In fact, he has not lined up with the defense of the Lions in OTAs at all. So this is a guy that was the number 4 PFF ranked running back in college with 40 or more carries, and the number 1 ranked PFF receiving back with 10 catches or more. Most teams did not have confidence to take him as a running back, but we know when it comes to Dan and Brad that they don't think in the box, they think outside of it. I do think that this guy's going to see some snaps on defense, but this guy's going to be a special teams dynamo, and I think when we see preseason end, this will be the Lions' number 3 running back on the depth chart.
And that's what I was going to ask. Like, even though they drafted him and now he's listed as a running back, when he was trying out and he was going through everything at the combine, he did every position.
That's right.
Like, he did 5 different combine positions, and that's what Brad Holmes said. He was so enamored by the fact that this guy got done with the running back. Then he was like, all right, I'm going with the DBs. All right, then I'm going with this. And that he never showed falling off one step, even though he was competing in 5 events when guys were there only competing in 1.
That's right.
But the fact that they've put him in that running back position, I'm going to be a little bit cautious going all in on him, because where's the snaps? Where is he? The only time he's going to get run is if something bad happens. So as much as I want him to succeed, I want to see Gibbs and Montgomery on 100%. The field. 100% of the time, I want to see those 2 on the field. But the fact that the Lions got this type of guy, where you never know, you could put him in the slot. You know, you could treat him like a Tyreek Hill type. Not saying he's got Tyreek Hill speed, but I'm just saying stature-wise and skill set-wise, he may be a utility guy that Ben Johnson has a little fun with. Yeah,
and we could see him in a quarter defensive set. You know, Pete, you were talking about the utility position.
Yeah, utility. Well, I mean, you know, be able to play him all over the offense. He could be a backup tight end if you have to. He could be a number 4 receiver. Or, like I said earlier, I mean, I wonder if they're listing him as a running back, because there is no ATH like there is in college for athlete. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if they're listing him as a running back just for the fact that there's nowhere to put him as a depth chart position.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that you'll see him on every offensive position, you know, basically throughout the season, especially when injuries start popping up.
Yeah. He's got speed. He's got hands.
Right. The hands is key.
Yeah. He's got elusivity.
He reminds me of like an Austin Eckler.
Yes, very much so. But what he can do on the defensive side, if we're in a late game scenario where we need extra defensive backs on the field running out of a quarter or extended dime, this is a guy that we have seen this team over and over again pick players that can do more than advertised.
Well, that's the thing, and I think that you guys are talking about the positions that have improved. For the Lions, I think that of all the positions, I think that the linebacker and then the receiver, since we're talking offense, I know a lot of people like Donovan Peoples-Jones, but he just doesn't put up the numbers anymore like he did in his first 2 seasons. But my whole point is that Sione Vaki will take some pressure off the receiving core because he can come out there and play a couple different positions. Run a couple of different routes is my whole point, depending on what the play call. And I know this may sound weird. I wonder if he comes out in a fullback position here or there.
Wow. Yeah, it's just that super utility spot,
right?
Yeah, it's
super
like bringing
utility.
that guy in that can play anywhere on the diamond. If we need snaps out of this guy, I think they're pretty confident to get him in there and get him to him.
What were you gonna say, Kenny? Oh,
but yeah,
anyway.
I'm so excited about this Vaki kid. The fact that we've been able to kind of look at him early on in the process and be able to say that we wanted him here and then for him to actually end up in a Detroit uniform, but then change everybody's expectations. This is not a guy that they're looking at to be a member of their secondary, at least on a regular basis. This is an offensive weapon these guys have brought in.
Yeah, and we got to go to the chat right now. My starting lineup for fantasy football: Goff, Edwards, Alaire, St. Brown, Bell, McBride, Higgins, Lyons, McPherson, Mayfield, Jigba, Colt C, Bigsby, J-Mo, I love that. Fryermuth, is it good? Dante, 151. Listen, we dropped $20 in the chat. We will address your thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
What do you think of that lineup? I like it.
I like it a little. Honestly,
it's a little Lions heavy. I got to be honest.
But
I love the Lions, but putting all your eggs in one team's basket sometimes is tough.
And for the last 30 years, you've basically avoided everybody in Honolulu Blue for your fantasy teams unless they were named Megatron or Barry Sanders. So now to have a team where you can have that many Lions on your team and feel confident, my man, it sounds like all you need now is a trade for Laporta.
Yeah, sorry, my mic was off. KG's running behind the scenes. Pete, why don't you get in the TD booth and let's work on Anson's look right now. He looks.
You guys gotta
no, look at my camera and look at Anson's. Yeah, it looks like Anson's been in a tanning booth for way too long.
I need a tanning booth.
So either way, I think it's a solid lineup. I don't like putting all my eggs in one basket like that. I prefer to spread it out. But when the Lions are a top 5 scoring offense, people are going to put up some numbers, and why not? Jared Goff, baby.
Yes, sir.
Fantasy football wise, Jared Goff is a top 5 quarterback, period.
Edwards Alaire is a guy that's an afterthought for most people, but if Pacheco goes down, you have the running back on one of the best offenses in the league. T. Higgins is going to perform this season, that's for certain. And I think Jackson Smith and Jigba is really ready to take over, might even displace DK. DK is kind of limited in terms of what he does. He's a big play receiver, a big target out there. But with Lockett aging, I could really see Smith and Jigba becoming that chain moving target. Plus, he's a big downfield guy. And then I know you love J-Mo. I'm a big Bigsby guy too. I'm not a huge believer in Travis Etienne. So I think that Bigsby is a real nice buy low in most leagues.
Yeah, and then J-Mo. I love J-Mo.
Yes,
I'm patiently waiting on J-Mo. This has been kind of the topic of discussion for the off season. J-Mo has become the Stafford, right? He's the guy that you see has all the talent. You're the guy that sees that he can do it in the right system, but we haven't seen it consistently out of him. And luckily, the Lions are in a luxury position to where they don't need him to be that guy. But I think we're all still waiting. Number 12 overall pick. You traded up to get the guy. The legal issues, the injury, or not legal, I guess. The NFL issues,
suspension,
guideline issues, because it wasn't anything illegal. It was just against what NFL policy.
And they changed it. So.
But he's the guy that I'm really interested this year for the Detroit Lions too, and in fantasy football, honestly.
Yeah, well, and they have him not penciled in, but they have him inked in for that kind of impact on this team. I've talked about him and Jack Campbell on each side, offense and defense, being that heralded, but that dark horse guy that if he can play to the expectations, even just to 70, 80% of expectations of what he was drafted to be, both of those guys.
If he just does 50% of what he did in the NFC Championship game.
Yeah,
that's all we need every game. Just 50% of that.
Yeah, those two are the guys that can take both units over the top this season.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But overall, pretty good team you got there, Dante. Is that a dynasty league that you're in? And how long do you got those guys?
And how many teams?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
too.
that is a big
Because if that's an 8-man team, then we're not loving it. Or an 8-man league, but 10 or 12, that's a nice squad.
Well, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we got the NBA Finals tonight. Ooh. It could be wrapping up completely tonight. And
hope not.
Honestly, what a ho-hum finals. But we're going to talk about that coming up next right here on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Who's got Swiss? Pete, tell them about Swiss.
Well, I will tell them that now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed, and Swiss Insurance will make sure that your carrier is not slipping in extra fees. Call Mark at Swiss Insurance today, 313-530-1698, or visit SwissINS.com. Back over to Stick for Planet Fitness.
Yeah, Planet Fitness. That's where you need to go. It's only $10 a month. And, you know, they got air-conditioned gyms. So when it's like 97 degrees like it is outside, you don't want to be working out outside. You're going to collapse. Go into a nice air-conditioned gym, get your workout in, feel good, come out, and have that body that you feel good about. $10 a month. Planet Fitness. There's one near you.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody!
Most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media. And we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Hey, what happens when you run a successful business for 50 years? you just keep expanding, and that's what Les Stanford has done. It's because of that customer service and the deals that they pass on to you, whether it's a Chevy, Cadillac, Buick, or GMC. Les Stanford has you covered. Check out Les Stanford at Dearborn today, or go to lesstanford.com. What else we got? Lady Jane's, time to get that wicked awesome haircut. It's summertime. You're going to be looking good when you're out at the beach, when you're going to the pool. So get that haircut at Lady Jane's. It's a precision haircut, and they will treat you like a king. Walk in anytime. Locations all over Metro Detroit. Lady Jane's. It's wicked awesome. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Without Ermanni, Edwards, or Maz. My name is Stick filling in. That is Anson Wells. We got KG in the sound booth. We got Pete in here. And we got a caller on the phone, don't we, KG?
We do. We got Noah on the line. Noah, you on wake up? No,
see, KG, this is the problem with putting you on three shows. You asked to be on 3 shows.
Yeah.
Now you can't even keep it straight what show. You're swearing. Yep. You're saying it's the wrong show. Forgetting we're on Fox 2.
Yeah, it's been a long day,
Did we put too much on you, KG?
Not at all. Not at all. I'm powering through. But Noah, you on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. What's up?
What's going on, guys?
How's it going? What you want to talk about today, Noah?
I was actually calling in to talk about some dynasty topics because usually on Ermanni and Edwards we never get to talk about that.
Let's do it. You're with the two biggest dynasty geeks at the network, so.
Yeah, first and foremost, anybody that doesn't play dynasty, you don't know what you're missing out on. 100. I played regular fantasy football for years, and I didn't know what I was missing out on. But first, I want to humbly brag on one of my dynasty trades I made before the season last year. I traded away Mark Andrews and Deshaun Watson for Tank Dell, Sam Laporta, and 2 first-round draft picks.
Good Lord. Man. How long do you get your draft picks in your league? How long?
So we keep them forever.
Okay,
so I'm in good
lifetime
shape.
league.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan of that because
going into the year,
I like being able to see a little bit of player movement. You know, I like being able to fight somebody to force them into having overpay to keep them. I'm in both formats.
Yeah.
We do it where it's 3 years for any veteran that you sign, and then 5 years out of the rookie draft.
Okay. But yeah, I was light, so I took a flyer on Tank Dell and Sam Laporta and got away Mark Andrews, who obviously got injured, and then Deshaun Watson fell apart. So I felt good about that, and then I got David Worthy and Brooks in my rookie draft.
That's
all that
double
for
Texas,
those
huh?
two.
That's a steal, man.
Exactly.
And where did you pick them? What spots?
I got 108 and 110. So
108 and 110.
I got Worthy at 108 and Brooks at 110 because I need a running back.
Yeah.
But I grew up in North Carolina, so I'm the only Lions fan in my league. So I've got J-Mo on my team. I've got Laporta on my team. I've got Amon-Ra on my team. And I'm thinking about trading Benson and Brooks for Gibbs. What do you think about that? And do you think having the entire Lions offense on my dynasty team is a bad strategy? Because I believe in the Lions offense, so I'm not really worried about that. But I just want to get some outside thoughts. What do you guys think about that?
I'll say 2 things. A bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush, and you have a top 3, top 5 running back in Gibbs. I'm not as big of a believer in Brooks. He's not going to be able to probably play in the first few games, but in a dynasty perspective, I do like him. The other thing is this. When you own a whole bunch of Lions, if they play bad on Sunday, it's a double loss. So as much as I love their offense, you know, for me, just I own Lions and they have a bad day, it's just that much harder for me to get through the week. So I do love their offense going forward, though. I'm a high believer in Trey Benson. I believe that offense is going to be very strong for the next few years. People are sleeping on Kyler, but
I agree.
Man, Gibbs is hard to pass up on.
Yeah, he's the gift that keeps on giving at this point in fantasy football because he's, to me, the one Lion that you can honestly, him and Amon-Ra St. Brown, like, you know they're going to deliver. Obviously, you stole Sam Laporta, too. And he had his moments last year setting rookie tight end records. But yeah, Gibbs to me is the most exciting prospect of anybody.
And break down Gibbs with McCaffrey's rookie year stats and just understand who you might be obtaining.
Exactly. And that's my thought process is obviously Gibbs is probably running back 1, 2 in dynasty rankings right now anyways, but I feel like this is probably still the lowest you can get him at. I think this year they're going to utilize him in the pass game and obviously get more running touches. So I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean,
I could just see myself being
didn't-
pissed off that I didn't make the trade, especially when it's one of my guys. So that I'm already cheering for, and I hate having to root against Gibbs if I have to play him. So that's the biggest thing for me.
That is the tricky part.
And remember, this is the time where you can capitalize on rookie fever, okay? These guys haven't played a lick of NFL football. We know who Jahmyr Gibbs is. And to a point you were just talking about, this guy didn't really see a lot of the offense in the first half of last season. It was the second half, especially when Monty went down, where this guy really was injected into the offense, and the offense started to really revolve around him. So I think second year Gibbs, you're right. You're getting him at a deal. People are sleeping on him. You know, I like Bijan Robinson. I loved him coming out of Texas. And he might actually be a better prospect, but the situation that he's in versus Jahmyr Gibbs, it's hard for me to put Gibbs behind him in dynasty running back rankings.
Yeah, no, appreciate the call. 313-552-6322. It's kind of one of those open format days.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, NBA Finals, we're going to talk about them, but it hasn't been very exciting. Baseball, the Tigers are 3 games under 500 now. Can't even watch them on TV.
5.5 games out of the out of a
3 games
playoff
under
spot.
500. Can't even watch them on TV. I mean, there's really not much sports talk going on right now. So I'm okay with opening it up to whatever you guys want to talk about.
Yeah,
if it's
more
fantasy
dynasty,
football,
please.
Yeah, obviously we love the dynasty talk. If there's some Lions topic that you don't feel Woodward Sports has hit on, which I think we've beat everything to death so far this offseason. But we got a month till training camp, and these next 4 weeks, there's really not a ton of sports and news coming out to talk about. So 313-552-6322. But we do got to talk about the NBA Finals happening tonight, 8:30. Anson, has this been one of the worst finals you've ever watched?
Yeah, and I've not really tuned in for a lot of the recent finals. Few games here and there. This one, I think I've been on for every game. I've turned every game off probably twice.
Yeah.
This last one I turned off twice, but everything changes with a win tonight for Dallas. You guys all know that I believe the NBA is now the NBE, National Basketball Entertainment.
No, that's the WNBA. But WNBA.
There's just there's no money. There's no money in a Boston win tonight. I'd like to see where all the bets are going, because whoever's being bet heaviest, it has gone the other way.
You know it's
for
Boston.
Vegas. What's that?
You know it's Boston. They going back to Boston. You would assume that they would be the betting favorite.
Well, and that's why I think that Dallas takes this game. I think that this series probably ends in 6.
So you think Dallas takes this game?
I think it's crazy, but I do, because that's where everybody's betting Boston. The spread, I believe, was 6.5. It's probably down to 5.5 today. I looked a couple days ago. This whole series has me weirded out. Without Kristaps, I really thought Game 3 was going to be much closer than it was, and it kind of was. But then you see what, in slow motion, really looks like a forearm shiver offensive foul, and you take the focal point player of this entire series out of the last 4 minutes.
Yeah.
And then somehow this team comes out and smokes Boston. Yeah. That's a lay down game. We're ready to get swept and go home. But
that's just Boston like kicking their feet up.
You think so?
Yeah, that's all Boston was doing. Like, listen, we don't need this game. Let's go home. Let's win it for the fans at home. To me, it was just Boston just took the night off. It's like they didn't even want to play basketball. And that's what's so frustrating about this series is it has been interesting 0% of the time. Absolutely 0% of the time this series has been interesting to me. And I love playoff basketball. But even getting here, Boston's route to get there,
it's
been boring as hell.
Yeah.
Going through injured opponents. And then Boston gets to the finals, and yes, Dallas made it to the finals, but what are they? They're a 5th seed.
That's right.
They are what their record says they are, right? Luka and Kyrie got hot, then Luka got a little hurt, and that's the end of that team. And it's just, I would have much rather see Denver back in this, defending something, or I would have rather see Ant-Man actually stand up to performance instead of walking up and down the court like he did in Game 1, and Minnesota would have been in this, because at least it would have been something entertaining and exciting. But I cannot get into this NBA Finals, and it's almost over.
I feel you. I'm not mad at that, but you don't think Luka deserves some credit for Game 4, man? We talked about how he was laying on
does.
the court and all this stuff. And to his credit, he got it together, man, and he put on a show in Game 4. So I don't know. I don't think it's the most outrageous thing, Anson, that, Dallas could maybe steal a game in Boston. But if they do, I feel like Boston is in trouble at that point. You can't let 2 straight go when you have a chance to close the series at home.
Interesting. Yeah, Luka, the way he exited Game 3, had to come out and play the way that he did in Game 4,
absolutely.
100%. Now, I'm going to tell you the reason why I think that Dallas wins this game. My very good friend, who is not a sports guy whatsoever, on a conversation with him this weekend, I'm going to bet on Boston.
Okay.
They're going home. They're going to win it on their floor. That's where they want to win it. No, that's what fans want.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure that Boston would love to win on their home floor, but Boston would have rather won Game 4. I promise.
Then how do you explain a
Promise you that.
40-point L? Like a 40-point beatdown.
Outside shooting.
That means they just.
But Dallas
that just
was
means they
canning
didn't want
shots.
to be there. They just didn't care.
Well, but Boston was missing shots. Dallas was making shots. But all I'm saying is this. Everybody in the world, especially the average NBA fan, and even less than that, they all think Boston's taking this game on their home court for sure. It's already a foregone conclusion, and that's why I'd be putting my money on Dallas, because the Vegas is in charge right now, gentlemen.
Sure, they are.
Okay, we can play that game, but even if, let's say, Dallas steals this game too, are they going to win the series?
I don't think so.
No, they don't. You
3-0 is a deficit.
You don't come back from 3-0. You come back from 3-1, which they're at now, so we can have that argument. But I just don't see it. And when I'm watching these games, there's no matchups that I'm like super excited to see. No. Like, oh man, Jason Tatum versus Luka. Like that doesn't excite me. Does that excite
Drew
anybody
Holiday
else?
and Kyrie has been the story of this series, and it's the only intriguing matchup
but
that there is.
Is Drew Holiday a superstar? Like, there's no superstar matchup. There's no like
I agree.
real like battle of good versus evil.
There's just Luka letting Olane and letting Tatum by all series
there's
long.
Luka not playing defense, but jacking up shots on offense, which is fine. He's fun to watch on offense.
That's what he do.
Right, like he is as advertised. But man, can you imagine if Luka wasn't fat? Like how good he would be.
If he just really wanted to play defense, I'm sorry, but if you could shake people on offense like that, you should be able to stay in front of somebody on defense on occasion.
Yeah.
So are you watching the game tonight, KG?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm watching it. I'm just watching it and discuss like,
why
the hell am I watching it? Like,
unless Kyrie goes off. Okay?
Kyrie goes off. That's the game we've been waiting for.
Yes,
Kyrie to go off in
sir.
Boston, and it has not happened to this point.
Now, in Game 4, he didn't go off, but like we've talked about with Jason Tatum, he's played good basketball, and he's not been needed. He hasn't made big mistakes. What I felt that Kyrie finally did was silently lead as the general on the floor without having to shoot 50% from 3 and having to put in up 30 points. So they don't necessarily need all of that from him. Tim Hardaway, that's a guy we're ready to talk about him. If this guy can continue to shoot the way that he has and supplement that scoring, because we've been talking this whole series, who's that third scorer?
Exactly. He's been needing help in the worst way. Him and Luka, they do need that third person. We thought it might have been Lively. It hasn't been to this point, but the team has gotten better each game. I will say that. In Game 3, I think they all finished in double figures. In Game 4, they were a lot more efficient. So, I mean, it's possible. It is possible.
Anything is possible.
Do I think it'll happen? No. I do think Boston closes the series tonight, but like I said, we're still waiting on that Kyrie game. This would be a fine time for it.
And listen, I would love the NBA to shut me up. Like, I would love for them to steal this game.
No doubt.
Steal the next game.
Yeah.
And all
Let's
of a
go
sudden
7,
we're in
baby.
Game 7, and now I'm interested on the edge of my seat watching this instead of it just being background fodder when it should be the NBA Finals and I should be all in. But it hasn't gotten me on board this year. And then NHL, I'm already like, of all the 4 major sports, NHL is probably the lowest on my realm. And that series, I try to get into that, and it's just same thing as the NBA series. Like
it's a mirror.
This is it literally
8-1 last night or the other night.
Come on, I want to watch a good game. I want to watch competitive sports. I want to watch guys beating the hell out of each other. I don't want to watch 40-point blowouts in the final. I don't want to watch 8-1. I don't want to watch, I want to see the very best at their craft peaking at the finals. We are not getting that through either sport, and that's 50% of the major sports in the United States not delivering.
Yeah, I don't feel that we've had a good final series this decade yet. You got to go back to the teens to really have a legitimate finals that I was engaged in and
the bubble didn't do it for you? I said the bubble championship.
The Asterisk championship? Man. I mean, an 8 seed made the finals. That's all you got to know.
Yeah.
Do you guys think because the Lions' success this year and like the hype and the anticipation of NFL playoff football and us actually getting to experience it here in Detroit, do you think that's part of like my hangover with not liking the NBA and NHL playoffs? Like I came from so high, like we were trying it. Like we were first time shooting up with Hopium playoff wins, right? You're never gonna catch that buzz again. And it's like, oh, and I'm interested in some other playoffs,
right?
Oh, well, this sucks.
Realistically, fantasy football has been saving Detroit football fans' lives for decades.
That and the draft,
Yeah, and
the draft was our Super Bowl, but even the draft, like I know we put in 750,000 people down there, but it wasn't, the buzz going in wasn't like the Lions had the number 2 overall pick. Like
by the time we got to the draft, I was gassed personally because we had done so much Lions up until like January, February, and then the draft was in April, and it's like, damn, it's already the new season already.
Well, and even that day, we had hours before it was our pick.
Right. And you're just sitting around with the anticipation, hoping Brad Holmes is trading up. But
it was
which he such a strange moment for the draft to be in Detroit when the Lions were finally good and picking in the later rounds.
Yeah,
who would have
later in the round? Like it was a weird timing, but. I mean, Detroit showed out for that draft. It's a memory I'll never forget. That's for sure.
That's definitely part of it, at least for local fans. But in terms of just like at least the NBA playoffs or whatever, I just feel like there's no dynasties to look forward to. Like we heard about, the Klay Thompson unfollowing the Warriors thing. And it's just crazy just thinking about, damn, they were probably the last dynasty we're going to see for a while. We all thought Milwaukee might take that mantle.
OKC.
Well, it's yet to be seen. To be seen. But we thought Milwaukee might have been the next team up. We thought maybe even the Lakers. Bron last hurrah, Anthony Davis, will they take it over? Like, there's no good juggernauts to look forward to. Not is parity in NBA good? Yeah.
Yes, I think it is. I love this. I love this version. The 2 superstars better than the 3 superstars.
Yeah.
But what I want is that parity to equal good basketball. Yeah. And that's what's not happening right now. Like there is parity, but when these teams match up, it just seems to be like 1-star players out. So, all right, well, we know this team's washed. Like Donovan Mitchell in Cleveland. Cleveland's not going to do anything without Donovan Mitchell.
That's facts.
It's no longer that big 3 era where, okay, well, LeBron goes down. Well, we got D. Wade and Bosh. It's no big deal. We can cover up our warts. So it's just been. I like that it's no longer the big 3 era, but I want to see more competitive basketball in the NBA. Period.
Well, remember, Boston is a big 3. They just don't have their third right now. He's been injured. He was dominant in game 1 and 2 of this series. Now. This is a very, very complete team in the Boston Celtics. They are very, very boring. But, KG, I want to ask you this.
What?
If the next 3 finals were OKC and Boston, would you be okay with that?
Well, yeah, on
Me
paper.
too.
On paper, I would, because OKC is a young, exciting team. You got the Celtics. They're kind of established now, but they're still young enough to where they can run off a few of these if they do it the right way. So, yeah, I'd be interested in that. But on paper, though, we don't know how it actually play out.
To me, even though I love Anthony Edwards and he's exciting, Anthony Edwards finds himself in an even deeper problem than the Dallas Mavericks do. Who's his number 2? Who's his number 3? I know he's got the big man
Cat,
there.
Baby.
Man,
yeah, go ahead and have him.
Cat finna be out of there.
3-point shooting champion.
Cat is about to be the odd man out because they can't get rid of Gobert, so he's finna be out of there.
That's right. But OKC to me is a team that can match up their big 3 with the big 3 of Boston. What they've done through the draft with guys like Cason Wallace and the depth all the way to like 10, 11.
Yeah.
That is a series that if we saw the same 2 teams for the next 3 years, I'd have no problem getting my fill of that.
Yeah. Cody Engel brings up a good point in the chat. The NBA is also in a transition to new stars from the 03 to 06 draft guys, and you can feel that in the NBA right now. Like the SGAs are coming alive.
Yep.
Those guys are starting to peek their head up, and the NBA is waiting for somebody to come by and be the next LeBron.
Yeah.
And who's it going to be? I mean,
Wemby.
You think Wemby?
100%.
You think he's marketable though on that level?
He is marketable on an international level like no
international. Fine. I'm talking
other.
in America. The place I care about. I don't give a damn if people in Germany like Wemby.
He had 2 different triple doubles last year.
Okay.
One with blocks, one with assists.
Is he going to be the face of the league?
Oh, 100%.
Is he going to be like?
Listen, the league has been working towards a foreign-born player being the face of the league since 1992. That's facts. They have changed the way that the game is played, the way that it's called. But you have a foreign
player that's back-to-back MVP right now, and he's not even the face of the league. So that's what I'm saying. It's harder. You need that American-born superstar for the NBA to really sell it to the hometown. Yeah, you want Wemby in it. You want Dirk Nowitzki, yeah, he can push all that stuff overseas. But here in the U.S., if you want to drive the listenership and the viewership, you need to have a homegrown and hate to, be like, they took
buy
our
American,
jobs.
buy American.
You need one of us.
I get that. I get that.
Like you need someone from North America, the continent.
Have you seen Wemby? Have you seen Wemby miss a 3 and put it back on a dunk?
I'm not arguing his athleticism. I'm not arguing how great he is. I'm just saying if you want to market to the kid in Southwest Detroit, if you want to market to the kid in Southside Chicago,
Anthony Edwards.
It's got to be an Anthony Edwards. It's got to be those types of players that come through. Because as much as we want to say it's a globalization and all that, you still root for your own. It's just part of it, right? When the Olympics happen, your Team USA, and it's like, oh man, look at all the great players Team USA has. Yeah, they got a couple in France, but our whole lineup. So like the patriotism comes through, especially when you're rooting for your brand. And that's why I think like Anthony Edwards had this opportunity to be that dude.
He just didn't have the team.
Yeah,
he had the team. He didn't have the effort. The effort, like when you're walking up and down. Go back and watch that.
He was rolling an oxygen tank up and down.
He went to Game 7 in the.
Yes,
I get it.
And Kyrie Irving was running him up and down the floor. He was gassed at that point.
But if you want to be Michael Jordan. Tell me a game where Michael Jordan was walking up and down the floor because he had to guard someone hard the series before.
I understand that, but also Michael Jordan had to take his lumps as well. And this is just
I'll tell you what, when he dropped 63 in the Garden, you watch that end of that game and he is dragging himself up and down the court. Yeah. Same way that Anthony Edwards
dragged himself up and down.
Of course, but Anthony Edwards did too.
No, Anthony walked.
He did.
He walked, dude. He walked.
He kind of crawled, to be honest. He kind of crawled, to be honest.
The first game of the tap yourself out for 3 minutes. Yeah. Just be like, Coach, I need 3 minutes. The last 2 minutes of the game, I'm gonna go nuts. I'm gonna save all my energy.
And this is why he kind of shouldn't have called out Kyrie. I know it wasn't like an official call out, but he mentioned his name in that post-game press conference leading into the next series, and then he got all of Kyrie, all of it. So I can't blame him for that. It's early in his trajectory. He needs to take these kind of L's in order to build his profile a little bit. But Anthony Edwards still has plenty of time to be the face of the league. And I feel like he is the most next ready up because his team is in position. He's a winning player already. He's probably next up in line.
Listen, the reason I was so disappointed is because I was becoming a big fan.
I feel you.
Right? Like, if I didn't give a damn about this guy, I wouldn't care that he was walking up and down the court. But, I was there ready to anoint this guy. Like, man, the way he plays, the way he jumps, the effort, the intangibles, the leadership.
He's never been in that situation before, so you can't hold it against him.
I can hold it against him. But until the next time, right? Because the first time he was in it, he failed.
But he had a damn good playoffs, though. It was just that series it took a toll on him. The whole team was beat up.
Welcome to the NBA playoffs, where you can't just do good in the first round. You got to do well the whole way through. Otherwise, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get idiots like me saying, I don't know. I don't know about this guy.
I think Anthony Edwards is going to get close and fail for a few years. We're not talking about a guy that should have maybe, I don't think so, but probably should have won the MVP in SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yeah.
This is a guy that's on a team with 2 and 3 where these guys can be a big 3. I think that he is, even though he's not as fun to watch as somebody like Anthony Edwards because of the way he dunked, feels like the second coming of Jordan, well, maybe third coming after Kobe. But SGA, what he does on the court and with his cast around him really is best position, I believe, to become the face of the Western Conference.
I feel you. The only thing I hold against SGA, I do like his brand of basketball. I feel like he's pretty exciting for a young player, but OKC, the market is just not the best market. And I know we talk about Wemby being in San Antonio, but look at the Spurs. They're multi-time champions. In the pantheon of the NBA, you have to mention the Spurs.
100%.
So I feel like, Wemby has a better chance of being that marketing, star more than SGA, unfortunately.
What I see in his memorabilia market, I mean, Wemby just is touching an interest that Steph and LeBron can never come close to internationally. The only guy that compares is MJ, period.
And he's a freak of nature. It's not just that his game. He's a freak of nature on top of it. Yeah. So
the 20 years of the evolution of the NBA towards KD-like players has culminated and manifested in a 7-5, fully skilled, all levels, offensive and defensive dynamo.
Yeah, that's great. Good for him.
Well, listen, while we're on Boston.
But you want to save like the NBA All-Star game and stuff, this is what it goes to. You do USA versus World.
Oh, yes.
Now these guys are actually caring. Yes. You're playing for something.
And put $5 million up for the dunk contest.
Yes, sir.
Oh, God, I would love that.
Everyone would.
Yeah.
Well, while we're still on Boston, I want to mention something. We got a guy a couple times on here, and he's kind of secretly becoming my favorite player in the NBA. I want to tell you this before I say his name, okay?
Jaylen Brown. I just steal what you're going to...
Yep.
Well, you ruined that one.
Killed him.
So I was going to say this guy was Mr. Basketball in Georgia.
Ooh.
Chose the cerebral college of Cal over the likes of Kentucky and Kansas. When he got there, he was a varsity chess player. He was graduate level classes immediately. NASA internship, the youngest man to ever teach a class at Harvard. MIT robotics, also a piano and guitar composer. Jaylen Brown is the most intelligent man in the history of the NBA. And to me, he's as important in this series as Kyrie was in winning the championship for the Cleveland Cavaliers, not LeBron.
He's their best player. Jaylen Brown is the best player on the Celtics.
Yes,
100%.
He's the guy the most consistent player. He's the guy that has the lowest floor and matches the ceiling of Tatum.
Yes.
So to me, he's the heartbeat of the team. I mean, I didn't know all those mental accolades, and
Isn't
that's
that
great.
Cool though?
Yeah, but it doesn't matter if you can't play basketball.
But he can. He can do both. He can checkmate your ass and
really
dunk on your butt.
4.3 in high school, but can you shoot the damn basketball? Can you play defense?
But he can.
That's why we're talking about him, not how smart we are. I mean, what was that quarterback? Josh Dobbs, right?
No.
The pastronaut.
No, who was?
It was Dobbs.
No, the kid that went to Harvard. Oh yeah, but you're right. You're right. What was the other kid?
Fitzpatrick that went to Harvard?
Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, I mean, it's great that you're smart and all that, but,
Shut up and dribble.
If the dude couldn't play basketball.
Can you dunk, though? Can you dunk, though?
I did not say that. I did not say that.
I'm messing with you.
I did not say that.
I'm messing with you.
I would never say shut up and dribble, unless it's to WNBA players, but I would never say that. But no, congratulate. Like it's awesome that he has all those accolades, but the dude is an absolute dog on the court.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm looking for. He's using that mental prowess to figure out the game, take proper angles. Like
I'm honestly
he's the best player to watch in this series to me.
I'm hooked on Larry Bird smack talk videos and Jaylen Brown non-basketball interviews.
Oh my God.
I love it. The guy's so smart, man. Really, really made me a fan over the last week as I learned more and more about
You know
this
what
kid.
else is smart? Dr. Pierce.
He is.
Who's got Dr. Pierce? Is that you, Pete?
That would be me.
Tell us about
Got a problem
how
with
smart
that?
Dr. Pierce is.
Well, he's pretty smart because he's on Woodward Sports Network 2 days a week. You can hear him on Tuesdays on Big D Energy and Thursdays right here on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. So don't miss out on the expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of the Michigan Sports and Spine. You can trust the guy that DMAC trusts. And for more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944. And if you're treating yourself well, you might as well treat your pet well as well. Give your pet the best. Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences of the online and big box realtors with one major difference. Family, locally owned and operated for over 30 years. Over 60 brands of food with nutrition experts there to help you. Same day local curbside and home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best at PremierPetSupply.com.
and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Trying out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
To any Lady Jane's haircuts for men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week, walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week, walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's haircuts for men, it's wicked awesome.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Come enjoy the delicious heat.
Honey biscuits too. They're fire.
Biscuits, baby.
Yep.
We'll never let Soroki's go by without talking about their biscuits.
Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, without Ermanni and Edwards, or Maz, right here on the Woodward Sports. So there's the Maz chair.
Right.
But in honor of Maz, Pete, during the break, you brought up an interesting fact, and it's something that Maz and I kind of spat over.
Yeah.
But go ahead. What's today?
Yeah,
What's the
30 years
anniversary?
ago today was the 1994 NBA Finals Game 5, but that's not the point of what I'm trying to make. It's what happened during the NBA Finals Game 5 in 1994. This is the anniversary, the 30th anniversary of O.J. Simpson on the run.
R.I.P. The guy who murdered his wife and then wrote a book that said, if I was...
And boyfriend.
And boyfriend.
Acquit it.
And Ron Goldman was supposedly his friend.
Yeah, right.
But me and Maz defends OJ to this day.
He loves OJ.
He loved, like, OJ could do, literally OJ could murder people.
Because the glove,
and Maz still,
he could kill the
glove
queen.
Didn't fit. Is that why? Or
listen, that was probably
he
one
ran
of the
for
best
10,000 yards.
That was one of the best defenses you'll ever see. They made it about everything but the murder.
Yes, sir.
It was about the investigator. It was about the cops. It was about everything but OJ showing up and stabbing two people.
Kalen, talk soup.
But OJ, he's gone now. Maz will still stand on business with. It amazes me that
he will defend him.
He will defend him like it's his family member.
That's what car guys do. You know, OJ with Hertz.
You know, OJ is a good guy.
You had to be there, man.
I saw a meme today.
I saw him run in college.
I saw a meme today, and it was the pearly gates that said O.J. Simpson defense team wins case to get O.J. into heaven.
I think his whole defense team is now up in heaven. Cochran and then Kardashian.
Couldn't have happened to a
Kardashian's
nicer
gone,
group
eh?
of A's.
Yeah.
Hey, they got paid. What you want them to do, man?
They did get paid.
Hey,
Listen,
what you want them
like,
to do?
I have such a rough time with defense attorneys. Like, how do you sell your soul like that to defend like some of the low? But I also understand that. Listen, if I was ever falsely accused, I want to get a defense attorney. Exactly. Or if I ever did something wrong,
or correctly accused.
Yeah, like listen, like,
correctly accused.
I want a good attorney in my corner, but man, like the fact that OJ got away with murder, then got found guilty in the civil trial, then wrote a book about if he did murder them, what he'd do.
Right?
Like,
this is how I do it.
And then he was saying, "Oh, I'm out looking for him," and every day the dude's golfing. Like this.
Well, I mean, he got his comeuppance. They locked him up for stealing his own, you know what? So
his own Heisman.
Yeah,
he broke in and stole his own Heisman.
They got back at him, man. But you can say what you want about OJ. He literally changed American culture, man. So that's all I will say about him.
Naked gun, baby.
But he literally did that. OJ trial affected American culture.
Were you rooting for OJ?
I'm not.
Here we go.
I am neutral. R.I.P. OJ though.
You were only 2 years old when it went down, right?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
But I'm neutral.
I'm neutral.
I'm pretty sure.
I think ran for 10,000 yards. What you want me to do?
I'm pretty sure the only reason Maz thinks that he was innocent was because he was a little boy watching him run the ball.
Of course.
Yeah, no, Maz like attaches himself emotionally to this, and he can't detach from like, oh, he's a murderer. It's like, oh yeah, but he's a hell of a football player still.
Maz is just
the juice.
The guy rents a hell of a car.
The juice, man.
Where were you when the OJ thing broke? Like, I remember I was in high school, and like the teacher wheeled in the TV, and we saw the dude rolling down the freeway.
Yeah,
I was on the golf course as a caddy. Yep, coming on a hot day. Yep.
Some of the best sports stories. I was overseas. I was in Spain, and I come back and like, you hear about OJ? I'm like, no. A new Naked Gun movie coming out? What are you talking about? And then I had to watch it replayed, but catching up on something like that was weird because everybody already was just waist deep talking about it, knew all the facts or supposed facts, but
I love how he used the isotoner gloves, which he sponsored as
I love how he just
the gloves and the murder.
Remember when you were a kid and your older brother was like, fold that blanket, you're like, that's too big, and you'd fall all over the place. That's what he was doing. Like, oh, come on, you like slide that thing right out.
He got away with it. That's all he got away with it.
It was the Mark Furman trial. It was not the OJ trial. We all know that.
True that.
And thank you for bringing that up. I wish Maz was here to wax poetic about OJ.
I wish Maz was here to wax poetic about the Lions having a kicker. I know we already talked about that, but he was so emotional about that.
Shout out, Maz.
What's his stance on that?
Oh, well, you know he wanted a kicker for I don't know how long, man. Me and him kind of bonded over that. There's not many things me and Maz agree on, but Jake Bates was one of them. So shout out, Maz, man. We got our wish, man. We did it. We here.
We did it. We here. On the day that OJ murdered his wife, we got a kicker.
You damn right.
Maz is somewhere smiling.
You damn right.
Maz is driving right now on I-80 heading home.
Shout out to Tom Mazaway, Detroit sports legend around these
parts. No doubt.
Phone lines are still open. There he is, 313-552-6322. Do you guys want to get to the Around the NFL?
Sure, whichever you choose.
Not? Pete, you want to take the lead on this?
Whichever you choose, that's fine. Let me bring up the script. All right, guys. Well, here we go. Starting over in the NFL. What about the Chiefs' Isaiah Buggs, man? And the Chiefs have already had a pretty rough offseason. It continues. Isaiah Buggs, he has now been arrested for domestic violence and burglary, according to reports. And he was also charged last month for second-degree cruelty to dogs. So, once again, guys, KC offseason, not the best.
Is it bad that I'm more mad about the dog thing than the burglary thing?
I mean, you completely stole my take. I mean, absolutely.
Listen, the Lions this offseason have dodged 2 bullets, right?
Yeah.
Sutton being one of them, Buggs being another. Mm-hmm. You know, when you're trying to build a culture like Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes are trying to build, you can't have dudes like this in the building. Yeah. You can't. They need to be as far away from your franchise as possible. I got no pity for anybody who abuses animals, so throw the book at him, get rid of this dude. Buggs, you had an opportunity to do great things in life. You had millions of dollars. You could have done whatever you wanted, and you chose to abuse small animals, rob people, and what the hell just happened to my camera?
Yeah. Well, remember a year ago, this guy was sitting, and Lions fans were upset. Why? This guy should be playing. We need him in the lineup. The fact of this new regime is that culture trumps everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
This guy wasn't playing because he was a problem as a human being, and now we're seeing it manifest a year later.
That's why he wasn't playing?
100%.
Because remember, he didn't know. Like, he was on Twitter, like, I don't know why I'm not playing. And so now you're seeing a little bit behind the curtain, and that's what's interesting. Sometimes time reveals things that they just didn't. Maybe Dan Campbell's like, all right, this guy ain't one of us. And sit your butt on the bench.
Well, it's a great question, and what I love is that we will never know for sure because Dan and Brad keep things in-house.
Yep.
And they let them explode in somebody else's backyard.
And they said the Lions only take choir boys. Come on now. Come on now.
Hey, I like the no knucklehead approach. That remember Joe Dumars used to say that we're not bringing in any knuckleheads, and that's what you want. You want guys that are when they're between the lines, absolute savages.
Yeah.
But when they step outside, like Panay Sewell is probably the prime example of what you want in a football player.
Yeah.
Like you
Monster
see
and a gentleman.
You see the pictures of him before games with this kid playing on the field and all that. But come game time, you also see him gripping up Aaron Donald's face mask and telling him I ain't one to mess with.
Gentleman monster.
And those are the guys that know how to walk that line of violence and chaos, but also still a human being. Because as an NFL player, you got to be a little bit crazy to step on that field and know a grown man who spent his whole life training is about to hit you in the face.
Yeah.
Like, this is all that guy does, eat, sleep, and dream about crushing you. So you got to be a little bit off. But these guys that can walk that line of violence and being a peaceful man, like, they're just next level.
Yeah.
So respect to those guys.
Hoofhard, it says MCDC and Holmes like football psychopaths.
Yeah.
Guys that would die for the game both on and off the field.
Damn right.
Love that.
Dan Campbell, absolute. We know the guy's probably one of the most intense guys you've ever been around. But then you see the picture with his teacup poodle.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you want, right? You want the bulldog on the field and the teacup poodle off the field.
Sure, sir.
What we got next, Pete?
Well, you guys brought up T. Higgins earlier. The franchise tag has been signed, and he is scheduled to be in Bengals camp coming up this summer. What do you guys think? Jamar Chase has his secondary in command back on the field with him.
Now, how much is that franchise tag? Do you know?
It's like $24 million or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's like $24 million.
It's a
1 year.
lot of money for a number 2 wide receiver. That's all I know. But if you're the Bengals, you got to keep the band together one more time, right? You got to try it, or you sign them and try to leverage a trade out of them. Otherwise, you get nothing for him.
Yeah, he's gonna walk.
Yeah, I like what they've done this offseason. They see this as their window. Obviously, it's a big window because you have Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, but you bring back in T. Higgins, you add in Mike Gesicki, who is by far the most talented tight end that Burrow has ever had. And then you swap up and you go from an aging Mixon to a very exciting Chase Brown and a very steady Zach Moss. So the offense is there for these guys. I think it's a great move for both the Bengals and T. Higgins. Higgins is going to play his butt off. He's going to get paid next year somewhere. And then in 2025, Stick will be super happy he has Jermaine Burton.
Yeah, definitely happy.
And I love Joe Burrow, but I still got concerns about that offensive line. Defensively, they took a step back. You got Trey Hendrickson possibly wanting out as well. So who knows about the Bengals this coming year, man?
Isn't that interesting, though, about the Bengals, right?
Yeah.
What's their biggest weakness? Their offensive line. They had an opportunity to address that 3 years ago with Panay Sewell.
Yeah, they did.
chose Jamar Chase, which it's tough to argue because you're kind of arguing apples to oranges on what that could have meant.
Yeah.
But if you have Joe Burrow, shouldn't you have invested everything you possibly could in protecting him?
You would think.
And giving him time. Weapons are nice, but you found weapons in T. Higgins. You found weapons in Tyler Boyd. You just stole the guy in Burton in the 4th round. If Joe Burrow is who we think he is, he can elevate those guys and take them to Jamar Chase type levels.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's so crazy how those franchise-defining moments aren't apparent at the time, but now that you're removed from it, you're like, man, if they would have taken Panay Sewell, they would have no offensive line issues.
Man.
And where would the Lions be? Like, what would our strength be?
Micah Parsons.
And Burrow might not have any.
Shout out, man.
Good, Parsons, yeah.
Right.
And Burrow might not have any injury issues now because he's got Panay protecting him.
He got injured before Panay was there. It's just, he wouldn't have any lingering things. Like, he got hurt his rookie year because he had zero offensive line.
But I mean, last season, you know, when
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting, man. To be a GM and to miss. Like, I hope one day we get to interview a former GM and ask him, what's it like to miss?
Yeah, Matt Millen. You got
Millen,
lots of those stories.
Because then we could just ask Millen about any pick. Like, so what's it like
So you
to
did
draft?
nothing right. Tell us about it.
So the draft process, what's it like to screw everything up? Right. All right, who we got next, Pete?
All right, guys. Well, a little bit of news about an hour before we went on the air. The NFL has announced their in-season Hard Knocks. I'll give you guys a guess. Which conference is it going to be?
Which conference?
In-season Hard Knocks, NFL.
AFC North.
Okay.
South, AFC South. Sorry.
AFC South for you?
Texans. I'm going Texans.
All right. Anson?
I'm going to voice myself for Maz here. AFC North.
Yeah.
Okay. Kenny G?
I say AFC West, the Chargers.
The answer is?
The Chargers.
These 4 teams.
Oh,
And then B answer.
Ding, ding.
Yeah,
So
in-season NFL Hard Knocks. Yep. All
I'm going
4,
to give
the
that win to
conference, or
Maz.
the division.
Yeah.
Wow. So this is the first year they're doing a whole division.
Yep, the whole division.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Oh,
Okay.
Very cool.
That's pretty neat.
Yep.
Yeah. It's about time. The one team was getting kind of stale. And with shows like quarterback and receiver coming out that are doing a better job and kind of giving you a little more in-depth look at these players, Hard Knocks had to do something. So
This just shows you how the NFL is king. Like, it's like, we're going to give you behind the scenes of one NFL team. Yeah, that lasts about 3 years. Now we're giving you 4.
Right.
Next thing you know, it's going to be all 32 teams have their own individual Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch it.
Don't say it.
Like,
You're right.
I'm not really mad about it either. I would love the Lions Hard Knocks every year.
Yeah,
absolutely.
we got Amon-Ra in the receiver series, right?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool.
Looking forward to that one.
I love that.
Yeah, God. Remember the Hard Knocks Lions? We were doing the Hard Knocks after
Man.
watch party here at
Yeah.
Woodward
So
Sports. Like, you would come off those shows just feeling high.
Yeah.
I almost wish they had did a midseason because that was the 2022 year where they went 8-2 to finish the year.
Yeah, wasn't the Dolphins the midseason that year?
Yeah, man. But if they had did Lions midseason with that kind of comeback and story, man, that would have been great, man. Putting Green Bay out the last game.
When the Lions win the Super Bowl this year, will there have ever been a more dramatically amazing window for a losing franchise to come up, get highlighted right before they do? And just, I mean, I can't get over how perfectly beautiful the last few years of Lions football growth, should you say, has been, man.
This is why SOL is dead, Anson.
It's been a natural progression.
You're always the one saying it. I haven't said those 3 letters in a long
Hey,
time.
I'm just letting you know it's dead and gone, though.
It's what we've experienced before, though, with some of our successful teams here.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
a little taste of growth. You get to the playoffs the first time.
I get it.
Disappointing loss. You get that hunger back a little
Yeah.
more. And then it's fun to watch this team grow.
Yeah.
And it's fun to be a part of the process, especially after waiting my whole damn life for
Trying to
it.
tell you, man.
Guardian Alarm.
You want to do Guardian
Let's
Alarm?
do it.
You got it. Well, guess what happens when you see an empty chair and a black and yellow sign out in front of your house? It
What
tells the
happens?
bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
That's right. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts, 24/7 professional monitoring, and technology backed by people. That technology has been proven to work, and those people have been proven to care. So call 1-800.
Stay out.
That's 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them
out,
Woodward
O.J.
Sports.
Simpson.
That's right. Tell them today. Tell them
R.I.P.,
Woodward
man.
Sports sent you. We'll be right back.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Hamp for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, Just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! You smell that? That's Brad Holmes cooking. And the off-season smells good. Woodward Sports.
Hey, we were out at Oakland Hills last Monday for the Randy Wise Automotive Team Celebrity Golf Tour, and we're going to be out there broadcasting again. We got a couple more spots. Kirk Gibson was out there this time. You never know who is going to be there, so come on out, hang out, watch the live broadcast, and hey, why don't you even get in there and golf with some of these guys? You can scan the QR code above my head right now and get in. Visit Randy Wise today. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Stick, filling in for Braylon or Ryan or Maz, whichever one you want to pick. Anson doing the same. Kenny is here. Of course, we got Pete. And we're still doing around the NFL, right?
This kid, too. Yeah, you want to do around the NFL again?
You want to say his name instead of calling him this kid?
No, this kid. No, that's James back there. Intern
AKA
James.
Power Neck.
We're missing Power Neck. We're missing Intern Joel, though. Where's Intern Joel there, Kenny?
I don't know. You have to ask Intern Joel.
He failed us.
You're in charge of the interns, KG.
Hey,
Where are they?
Hey, I'm doing a poor job at that. So
Corral him.
You're just having a rough day altogether.
Yeah, man.
All right, boys.
Stay at the office, man.
All right, boys. You want a good one? All right, I know the chat's ready for this story because I know you guys are ready for it because we could talk about this one for a long time. 72-year-old dating a 24-year-old. Here you go, boys.
Hey-o.
Feast your eyes.
That is
Bill Belichick.
That's game, man.
What do you think, Kenny G?
I mean, that's some game to be macking on a 24-year-old cheerleader, but we all know that ring camera footage that came out with Bill Belichick being half naked. I think we know why now.
It's got to be that.
I think we know why.
What an existence that
yeah.
Has had. Like, not only do you get to walk around with the rings, you coach Tom Brady.
Yeah.
You're arguably the greatest coach of all time. And now you're pulling Leo numbers.
Yeah.
Like you're out there with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hey, man.
And you know the old saying, you're only as old as the women you feel. So
that's true.
Bill Belichick is 24.
Yeah. At least she's
started, baby.
At least she's of age. That's all you can ask for.
Oh,
she's of age.
Come on. We don't mess around with any of that Diddy stuff.
Yeah,
No.
Yeah,
no Diddy.
Now, does he have like a limit? Does he kick her to the curb at 26?
I don't know. Like, we just gotta hypothesize how this starts, though.
No,
right?
seriously.
Like,
it starts with rings, Stick. It starts with rings. Let me just tell you where it starts.
Hoodie up, just strolling up like, "What up? My name is Bill."
But
you ever had a ring in you?
What up, fellow kids?
But with a relationship with that big of an age gap, you don't think he doesn't like the media asking him questions. Can you imagine a 24-year-old girl like
God,
asking
she's
this
just
guy
on
questions?
TikTok and Bill Belichick's like eating cereal in
Yeah.
her right?
Hey, man, it's the era of the daddy. We all know this. And
yeah,
legend.
Shout out to my man. Good work.
And shout out to her for making the play. She trying to get a little bit,
Sugar daddy.
I mean, let's be honest. She's leaving that thing with a ring some way or another, right?
Some sort of ring.
You think she's
Some sort of ring.
She's like, listen, if I put 10 years into this, he's probably gonna die in the next 10. Like,
Oh, yeah,
then I'll get up. Like, you think that's the play?
It's gotta be.
Anna Nicole, baby.
I was about to say, is she going on
Anna Nicole Smith?
Right on.
You can't tell me that she finds Bill Belichick attractive. So I'm sorry, I'm not buying that one. So
Bro,
what else would it be?
if I get all
Maybe he
of
has
Bill
a good
Belichick's
playbook.
after 10 years, I might kick it with Bill Belichick right now. I get all them rings. Let's go.
Oh, you giving it up for Bill, huh? Oh,
So you said she was a cheerleader.
Yeah.
He said that.
Former.
No, she's a former cheerleader for the Patriots, I believe. Yeah, come on now.
Hey, the guy's always kept it in-house, all right? Belichick's always been good at keeping things in-house.
Who needs a masseuse parlor when you got the cheerleaders?
Well, the best part is you say former, so that means she was probably like 21 when
Right.
he met her.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta wait a little.
Can I take this moment to give a shout out to Automotion?
Sure.
Oh man,
Auto
what a
motion,
fun time
baby.
to be alive.
Yep.
I used to do overnights at 93.1 DRQ, and that's when radio was live in overnights. And about 2:30, the clubs would let out, and ladies would roll up while we were mixing live in the studio. And Automotion was a big part of that show.
I had Automotion overnights too.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it was a simpler time.
Yeah, just.
Okay,
all right.
Wait a second. Well, while we're there, this last weekend we had also an anniversary. 20 years ago, on Sunday, the Detroit Pistons won the 2004 NBA Finals. What a summer, baby.
They also have
what
a new
summer.
04 Pistons series coming out that's going to be produced by the Pistons themselves, I believe. So, yeah, they announced
KG.
They announced it over the weekend. It's called Going to Work, and it will be multiple episodes. I don't know how many exactly, but it's set to release sometime probably in the fall. So,
look at this.
So, multiple things running through my head right now. One, I cannot believe it's been 20 years.
Thank you.
Like,
right.
I
And
really.
you look really good, by the way.
Thank you. I got to find the picture of me holding up the trophy back then in front of the DRQ Hummer.
But yeah,
two.
It's like I love the 04 Pistons. I hate that it's been this long. Like
I just feel for young.
Welcome to your
sports fans
30s, my
in
friend.
Detroit. Like when that was happening. You know, Pistons won in 89 when I was 8. They won in 90 when I was 9. They won in 2004 when I was 23. And it was like, okay, if you would have told me in 04, hey, in 20 years, y'all ain't even going to be sniffing a championship. Like, not only will you not have won another one, but you will be 8 years of a rebuild from getting back to one. I would have laughed in your face. Be like 30 years before the Pistons.
We're
are
winning
relevant
next
again?
year.
Yeah, right.
No way.
Yeah.
No way.
Now look at us.
And now, it's just so crazy. But thinking back on that team and what they meant and just
What a
how
summer.
fun it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
No chance. Lakers in 4.
I will never forget. I live downtown at the Jeffersonian by Belle Isle.
Yeah.
And the minute they won the championship, Jefferson was bumper to bumper cars. Nobody was moving.
Damn.
People were parking, getting out of their cars, running around, high-fiving like it was the biggest celebration and no BS. Like there was parties at every gas station in Detroit, like everything. You couldn't have asked for a better summer. Then when Billy D got up there and gave his speech, kept saying BS about the media. They said we couldn't do it. BS. This old man up there. The crowd's just like going nuts.
Oh, man.
Oh, what a time to be alive. 20 years ago. That's insane.
Billy D won a WNBA, NBA, and NHL championship.
All in a year.
I mean, is there a greater owner in the history of sports?
It's tough. It's tough to pinpoint one.
And you pointed to Jack McCloskey, you pointed to Larry Brown, to Joe Dumars, to Chuck Daly. But like you said, we've had a 20-year drought, and the one constant with those teams was Bill Davidson. Rest in peace.
Oh, look, just a fan. Guys quit. The Pistons had 2 short runs of being good. They're not Boston or LA and never will be. There's, 5 franchises in the entire history of the NBA with more than 2 championships?
Yeah.
The Pistons are one of them. Put some damn respect on it.
Yeah, how about this?
I mean, that's
Right.
it's just facts.
Yeah.
I can't argue
The
anything
Celtics
but
and Lakers
facts.
got
I got
most
one
of the
for you.
championships. What you expect?
And they also played before the Pistons were around.
Yeah.
The Celtics would not be in existence if it weren't for Fred Zollner and the Zollner Pistons, then to become the Fort Wayne Pistons. Celtics were broke and could not stay in the professional league in the 50s. And Zollner actually paid their entire expenses for the entire year, travel and accommodations, to keep the Celtics in the league. So we are still royalty in a league that only has about 10 championships, 10 teams that have won champions over the last 40 plus years.
We're just dog trash right now.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Anson, and
But rumor is there's supposed to be a press conference this week with the Pistons to make some announcements. Got some inside information.
We got a guy who's ready to put his stamp on this squad, and we have the draft in 2 days.
Yeah, but there's nobody in this draft that's going to make a damn. What's up, Justin?
Hey, how's it going? I just wanted to also let you guys know over the weekend, the 98 Red Wings anniversary was on Sunday, I believe. So just wanted to come in here also tell you that while you were talking about anniversaries of this city when we were great.
Was it?
The 98.
26.
Capital.
Who the hell celebrates a 26? Like, what are we doing?
They posted it on their Instagram. Yeah. They've celebrated it. They got like 100,000 likes on it.
That's fine. That's fine. I just like usually anniversaries are like 10, 20, 25.
Do you not celebrate your anniversary every year with whoever, your special someone?
No.
Good talk, Justin. Good talk, Justin. Where are you going this weekend?
Electric Forest.
Yeah, let's throw that in there for one real quick second. West side of the state, Rothbury, the greatest music festival in the world.
Yeah, known for its sports fans.
That's right.
No, Electric Forest is a great time. Ludacris going to be up there this year.
I heard, man. I heard. I probably won't catch that set, but yeah,
you
he'll
should.
Be there.
Ludacris puts on a
I have heard that, actually.
An hour
Legend,
worth
man.
of nothing but bangers.
I'm going just for you.
Yeah, go.
I'm going just for you, pal.
Go see Ludacris in concert. You will not be you will be entertained if nothing else.
Do you know what day that is, Anson? Off the top of your head?
Luda's
probably Saturday.
Day. Yeah, Saturday.
Saturday's a packed day. That's a tough ask.
Yeah. Well, do yourself a favor. If you waste your time going to see Fisher and you don't go see
No,
Ludacris,
I will not be seeing
my
Fisher.
God. He was terrible.
Worst set I've ever seen in my life.
Worst.
I'm like, why did they pay this guy $1 million to be here?
Because of his one song at Coachella.
The one
song at Coachella. That's the only reason.
God bless him. We got to get to a break. Is that what you're saying, Pete?
No.
No. It's 3:30. I thought we was taking a break.
No, whichever you choose.
Let's keep
You
going
run the
around
show, bro.
Let's keep going around the NFL. Brandon Ayuk.
All right, well, Brandon Ayuk was apparently on TikTok, and he was talking to, of all people, kind of interesting, he was talking to Jaden Daniels. And Brandon Ayuk, as you know, has not signed yet with the 49ers. And he says, quote, to Jaden Daniels, he didn't mention what it means, but says, quote, they don't want me back.
Bro, look in the cam, bro. Look the cam.
He got me vlogging this shit.
Bro, what? What happened, bro? They said they don't want me back. I swear.
Oh my.
What is he doing?
2024, Stick.
Yeah.
It's 2024.
But what he's doing is lowering his value.
Yeah.
Right.
Because this is business, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the NFL is a business.
Yeah.
And am I going to pay a guy what that guy wants to be paid
After
if
he does that?
If he's going to go on TikTok,
Right.
FaceTiming other NFL players and putting that out as his content? I don't want that guy on my team.
It's not cool.
Selfish. It's arrogant. It's stupid. It hurts your brand. To me, Brandon Ayuk just cost himself millions of dollars by showing he's a selfish guy. I'm not signing him.
I'm not going to disagree with that take, but you're saying that he's missing out on money that San Francisco was never going to pay him. Okay.
No, I'm talking about the next team that's looking at him.
Listen.
Am I going to get in a bidding
Brandon
war?
Ayuk, the way his analytics stack up, this is one of the top 8 analytic receivers in the NFL. To me, I didn't understand why they prioritized Debo over him. I love what Debo does. I just don't think that he's going to have the staying power that Ayuk has. But I mean, personally,
I'm
with
going to
this
play
guy,
the system card.
everybody's going to forget this video a year from now when he hits free agency.
Yeah, he's not a system guy.
You don't think so?
He's better than
you don't
a
think
system
you
guy.
can. You don't think you can replace him in Kyle Shanahan's system? You think Ayuk was the one that makes that system click?
Well, we'll find
You don't
out.
think it's George Kittle? You don't think it's Christian McCaffrey? You don't think it's Debo?
You're
Samuel?
hitting it on the head right here, 100%.
Well, sure.
You can plug and play in San Fran as long as you have the weapons that they had. They still have McCaffrey.
As long as
ahead,
it's bouncing
KG.
off of Vildor's helmet, he's fine.
But they draft. I'm sorry. Go ahead, KG.
go.
They drafted his replacement in Ricky Pearsall. Okay.
Yep.
He is ready there to take over for Ayuk. But the fact of the matter is, regardless of having the best receiving,
Cowan, too.
the best receiving running back, a top 5 tight end, Debo and Ayuk, this is an offense that can get very far without Ayuk.
Yeah.
But
They
he's
got to a Super Bowl,
he's
yeah.
still a top 10 receiver in this league, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Even if he doesn't quite have the stats to back that up. And that, to your point,
would
is
say
because of the multitude of options that are in San Francisco.
I don't know. If somebody put a gun to my head and they're like top 10 wide receivers, Ayuk would not even enter my brain.
Nope.
I mean, I would say 15 to 20-ish, but he's still up there.
That's a big difference.
He can do what he does now on another team. Now, is he a number one? No. But I don't think he's a selfish player stick, but it just wasn't a good look. Like, your girl recording it, you don't post it. You know,
it just shows that you have very little conscious of privacy.
Right.
Brandon Ayuk was the number 12 wide receiver in fantasy last year.
In fantasy.
Yep. On a team with McCaffrey, Kittle, and Mr. Debo.
Yeah.
You know, so
I mean, Debo's hurt a lot. He gets a lot of those targets.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah,
not.
but he gets hurt a lot,
Hurt, Ayuk is great. When Debo's playing, Ayuk is
who would you rather have at this point in your career? Mike Evans or Brandon Ayuk?
Oh, Mike Evans, man.
At this point in their career?
I mean, Mike
I'd
Evans
rather
still
have
producing.
Mike Evans.
It's the
Ayuk
ghost,
or
it's
DJ
the
Moore?
I don't like that comparison. That's
Ayuk or DJ Moore?
I'm taking DJ Moore.
DJ Moore, man. All
You're
day.
telling me you put Mike Evans on that Kyle Shanahan
If you
offense
put-
and he's not putting up Ayuk numbers? You're telling me
I
that right
think
now?
Ayuk is a better receiver than DJ Moore.
Yeah, and you comparing them to number ones. He's not a number one, but he's a damn good number two.
I don't know.
He's a
DJ Moore's
damn
never had a
number
good quarterback, and he still puts up big numbers. So I don't know.
Yeah, I just think that if Ayuk and DJ are on the same team, Ayuk's the de facto number one. DJ Moore's their possession receiver. He's going to come in to work on third downs, but you're going to see the most work go to Ayuk. I think Ayuk's better than Stephon Diggs at this point in his career. He's better than Keenan Allen at this point in his career.
Oh, I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say
Keenan
that.
Allen?
Bro, you put any of
Keenan
those
Allen,
guys.
how many games do you get out of Keenan Allen a year?
When
11?
Keenan Allen's on the field, he is a force, man.
Okay.
He got over 1,000
any
yards.
of
I'm a
those
huge
guys-
Keenan fan, but
any
at
of those
this point
guys
in
in
their
Kyle
career-
Shanahan's offense does what Ayuk is doing. I'm not saying they're better, but I'm saying they can do exactly what he's doing.
We're going to find out with Ricky Pearsall.
He gets a max contract next year as a wide receiver.
Well,
Don't
apparently
sleep.
he doesn't think it's going to be from the San Francisco 49ers.
No, it won't be. Not after that
He just
video.
made that very public.
I think we can all agree on that.
If I'm John Lynch, I'm saying, okay.
Right. It's not a good look.
You called it.
Other teams might look at that negatively.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Goodbye, buddy. What else we got, Pete?
Let's see, guys. Well, we're running kind of a little bit lean here, but I'm going to tread this one lightly because I know that Daniel Jones is one of your boys there, Stick. But
Yeah, Vanilla Vic.
That's right. Well, here, why don't you read this one here, Stick, and then we can all comment after this.
Daniel Jones is the only quarterback to get $100+ million contract without ever having a season throwing 3,500 yards or 25 TDs. Jones will count for more than 18% of the Giants' cap.
That's or, by the way.
Yeah.
This is
Good luck, New York.
This is what Easy speaks of.
There you
right?
go.
Like when
All
Easy's
time.
speaking, you can't. This is one thing. 18% for DJ, probably a little much. But let's be honest. When they signed him to that, he had flashes, and they were gambling on him to become Josh Allen.
Yeah.
He's still
Never worked.
remained Daniel Jones, and that's therein lies your problem.
Yeah.
And now he lost Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Saquon, I mean, he hasn't been very
Band-Aid.
healthy, but yeah, I mean,
He was their whole team offensively.
But
And you
can
wanna
I-
know
can
why?
I play the Stafford game?
Yeah, all
can I
right,
play
go
the
ahead.
Stafford game with y'all?
Go ahead.
Who's blocking for him?
Oh,
Who's
yeah,
he
there you go.
throwing to?
Yeah.
Who's his OC? Who's his running back?
He has Brian Daboll. I mean, it worked for Josh Allen in Buffalo.
That's a completely different situation when you go from OC to head coach.
But I'm just saying,
You
Daniel
know that.
Jones
Yeah.
supposed to be that Josh Allen prototype.
But who's
Why
he
had it work?
throwing to?
Yeah, okay, I'll
Yeah.
give you that. Kenny
Okay.
Galladay.
You're throwing to
But who's
Darius
he
Slayton.
handing off to? Right. Darius
Yeah,
Slayton.
Wandell
But
Robinson.
Darius Tony.
if he was
Darius
that guy,
Ghost of Darren Waller.
if he was that guy, he would make these guys better, and that's why Saquon is always hurt because they just load the box. Daniel Jones ain't finna
Matt
do that.
Burita.
Well,
Daniel
I'll
Jones ain't finna do
I'll
shit.
tell you what, if Daniel Jones landed in L.A., he would have been a champion.
Oh,
Like,
okay, all
see,
right,
this is-
all right.
This is why I hate that Stafford.
Yeah,
I could do this with every quarterback.
He
that's
roped
ever
you in
played
on
the
that
game.
one, KG. Come on,
Stafford lover, that's exactly what you sound like.
He roped you in hard on that one.
Stafford
Jones.
truther.
The
I'm a
hook.
Stafford truther, man. I'm a Stafford truther, so that's fine.
All right,
and I don't even like Stafford anymore. Boo them kids, man.
Boo them kids.
Hashtag boo them kids. Them kids. Boo them kids.
But we can compare the first 3 years of Vanilla Vic to somebody else that just got a contract that a lot of people think is kind of the next coming.
Also Vanilla.
Yeah, super vanilla.
Yeah.
I mean, the most vanilla hair you could ask for.
Sunshine.
You got something for us over there, Pete, don't you?
T-Law,
Hang
baby.
on.
So over the first 3 seasons, their records, Vanilla Vic 19-30-1. This guy was 20-30.
Yeah.
There you go. They's telling you, Trevor Lawrence, look at their first 3 years. Tell me that one guy is different from the other. And then I'll show you the difference in $15 million made per year.
Hey.
Yeah, at least T-Law got a playoff win.
But at the same point,
that's the only trump card.
Daniel
That's the only
Jones'
one.
contract starting to look a lot better right now. Am I wrong? I mean, not to say that I would sign him to that.
It was never bad. It was $45 million. It was just like Daniel Jones, though. But what else was the Giants gonna do? Like, you gonna go back in the draft? Like,
Eli ain't coming back.
Yeah,
you don't have any backups. You haven't gone out and pursued anybody. Like,
yeah. It's the same thing with Jacksonville. What else were they going to do?
Yeah.
Well, Jacksonville also, I mean, they've tied their entire franchise to that guy.
And he's got some options. He has a lot of options.
And let's play the Stafford card again. Well, look who his coach was year one. He had Urban. He couldn't succeed under Urban. If he had a better coach, he would have been a better player. See, I can do this with every quarterback that's ever played the game. I can be a Stafford apologist.
I love that you are a Stafford truther and that I have joined you.
Yes. Truther. One of us. One of us. Google gobble.
My man is not welcome here, and I hope that you guys boo him mercilessly when he returns.
The best part about this is Anson and I have been boys for 20 plus years, and we have had that conversation at nauseum. He would get under my skin and go, hey, he's a Hall of Famer. He's a Hall of Famer. I'm like, no, he's not a Hall of Famer. Not close to Hall of Famer. Like, he came along at the right time in the league when he's throwing for 4,000 yards, but everybody's throwing for 4,000 yards. He was never the best quarterback in the league, ever. Not even a top 5 whenever he played.
True.
Ever.
True story.
Ever. So how are you a Hall of Famer? But he got a Super Bowl, so he is a Hall of Famer now. There's nothing I can do about that. Rings get you in.
Pad Stafford.
The stats were one thing,
Stat
but the
Padford.
stats plus the ring equal Hall of Fame for Matthew Stafford, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can play this game with Trevor Lawrence. We can play this game with Daniel Jones. We can play this game with everybody under the sun that Stafford fans play.
What would Baker have done with that squad?
Oh, well, if Baker just had the number 2 defense in Megatron, he probably wouldn't have gotten knocked out.
All he had
in
to
the
do
first
was
round.
leave Cleveland.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, we got
All
next,
right.
Pete.
Well, we got one more to go because I was talking to Kenny G earlier about this one. Mike Tomlin, as you guys know, he really pretty much is the man over there in Pittsburgh. Well, check this thing out. For you gamblers out there, this is kind of important news. Since Mike Tomlin took over as head coach of the Steelers have the best winning percentage when they are in a 3.5-point underdog or more, and that winning percentage is .452.
I'm a Mike Tomlin fan.
Gotcha.
You
But he
cannot
wins.
slander this man in front of me. Wins in the NFL mean something.
Yep.
And that guy has never had a losing season.
Never lost.
Say what you want about underachieving, but there's a thing called a floor, and his floor is winning.
Yeah.
And I will take that 1,000,000 times out of 1,000,000 to set the tone for my franchise. Not only does he have that Super Bowl in his back pocket that he can lie on, which is fine, but when I hear Mike Tomlin slander, it just lets me know that this guy doesn't know football. Like, okay, thank you. We're no longer going to have a conversation because you're stupid.
And half their fan base was calling for his head last year. He still gets him to the playoffs.
But that's spoiled, right? That's. I hope we get to that point as Lions fans, where never losing becomes a problem. But yeah, it's just spoiled child syndrome in Pittsburgh right now because he really the last couple of years hasn't had the ingredients to deliver the masterpiece that he had before.
Not even ingredients, quarterback. Yeah. He hasn't had a quarterback since Big Ben.
Right. Now, is that on him as part of the scouting department and who they draft and his
maybe,
input?
but
Maybe.
who's making that final call?
Their last 2 high picks whiffed. That's for sure.
But yeah, if Tomlin was Detroit's head coach over the past 10 years, I would be as happy as anybody you could ever name. Like I am a Mike Tomlin guy.
All right.
Mike Tomlin guy.
Mike Tomlin, Dan Campbell, Dark Alley, Battle Royal.
Oh, shit.
Who you taking?
Come on.
I'm taking
Chat, let me know.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell?
Triceratops.
Dan Campbell.
Dan Campbell.
Now,
I'm taking the bear.
You just said you never gonna throw Tomlin down. Like,
Yeah,
do you believe in Tomlin?
We were talking about NFL coaching.
I get that, but this is
now
Mike Tomlin we're talking.
6'6" versus 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah. We're going logistics here.
All right.
And Dan Campbell.
But wait a second. You got Tyson over Jake Paul, right?
Of course.
Same measurements, same age gap.
Oh, my God.
It's not even close.
It's not even close, huh? I'm taking Dan Campbell, too, but I got to ask the question. Dana White, can we get this going?
Mike Tyson, arguably one of the greatest combatants of all time.
That was wild.
And Jake Paul to Dan.
I was just
Were those the only black
comparing
and white guys
body
you could think of?
size. That's it.
Kenny.
Stick is a card. Man.
I didn't hear you guys. You guys all taking Campbell?
Yeah, probably, but size don't necessarily mean you're gonna win the fight.
That's right.
So
that's right.
I agree with Kenny.
Oh, Dante151. Tell that to Flannel Sam. Yeah, see, and that's another reason why you should trust me, because Flannel Sam doesn't think Mike Tomlin is a good coach. So that's another reason why you should be like, oh yeah, Stick's probably right, because Flannel believes the other way. Like anytime Easy or Flannel disagree with me, that means I'm onto something.
Oh my God.
Like I know
That's
I'm
good
right.
stuff.
Is that it, Pete, for Around the NFL?
Yeah, that'll conclude our NFL day.
All right. Well, that concludes the NFL day. But if you want to wake up tomorrow, what should people be waking up to?
Well, we're going to be going over there to the great Kenny G once they get the camera correct. There you go, Kenny G. Why don't you let Stick and everybody else know what's going on?
All right, there we go.
Hey.
You know, Woodward Sports got a new morning show. Not so new, but y'all know what it is. Woo Crew in the morning. Wake up, Woodward. Start your day with us every day, Monday through Friday, 8 to 10 a.m. live on Woodward Sports. You join Kool-Aid, Flannel Sam, Broder, JB, and my name's on here, KG. Every morning as we cover all of Detroit's sports talk, banter, and live fan interaction. All on Detroit's #1 sports network. Y'all know what it is, Woodward Sports.
Thank you to the Detroit Lions and Sheila Ham for the best season in Lions history. Now it's time to let Brad Holmes cook. Woodward Sports.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had to spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at RandyWiseChevy.com.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit sports.
Yo, let me just say, I love Planet Fitness.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Listen, the PF Black Card is worth every penny for this hydro massage. I'm a new man.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home?
Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
All the benefits, all for less. Planet Fitness, big fitness energy for all.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man-meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
KDK Law. Listen, you're going through a divorce. It's never fun, but they can make the burden a little bit easier. I went through a divorce like 3 years ago. I didn't have KDK Law in my corner, but I sure wish I did. Probably could have kept that house, Anson.
That's a great house.
Rest in peace.
Damn, she got you.
Pour it out. But you want to keep your house, you want to keep your car, you want to keep your kids. That's where they come in. You need excellence on your side. KDK Law Office. Go through a horrible thing with good people.
Don't let her do you wrong.
I got some of her plants.
Oh, you did take some of my ex's plants.
So
you
petty
stole
to
some
take.
of her plants.
That's
before I
petty to
could
take
take
plants.
They were going to the trash, okay? All right, they were going to the trash.
All of our memories.
And honestly, there's one I didn't think that was going to survive, and it's just been dying, and all of a sudden, I sent you a picture the other day with the sprout coming out of the ground. Yeah.
All right, yeah. Anson
Save them
saved
plants.
You saved the plan. I couldn't save the marriage, and here we are. Welcome back to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. My name is Stick, filling in today. The crew will be back tomorrow, right? The whole damn crew.
We assume so.
Supposedly.
Who that?
Allegedly.
Who that? Maz coming back from New Jersey with stories.
Maz and his
looking
Jersey
forward to
stories.
it.
Yeah.
What are we talking about now, guys?
We talk about
we got a
Caitlin
phone
Clark
call.
getting cranked real quick.
We do got to talk about Caitlin Clark, but first, let's get to this phone call. He's been on hold for a while.
Yes,
What we got?
sir. Matthew Kruger. You on Armani and Edwards. What's up?
From the chat to the phones.
Yo, what's up, bro? Great show today, man. Anson and Stick need their own show, man. Like, for real. Like, no joke at all. You guys are fire together.
Make sure you see us on the
I got
Lions
two
post
things
game.
real quick here. Got two things real quick here, but I was on hold since, like, Red Wings Pistons, so I got Red Wings Pistons. Number one, do you think in our lifetime we'll see the Red Wings break their 26-year playoff streak? And number two, why does Larry Brown get all the love? I understand he won us the ring and whatnot, but Rick Carlisle and what's his fucking name? Flip Saunders don't get any love, man.
You got to watch the language.
Hey,
man.
I love you guys.
Too.
Oh, shit. I mean, oh, crap.
Hang up on him, KG. Hang up on him, KG. Love you, Matt Kruger.
3 strikes you out, buddy.
Those
3 strikes you out. He just dropped a 4th there, too.
Yeah. KG, whenever it happens, just lower him.
He came on like Freddy Krueger.
I didn't catch the second question is what really caught me about why does Larry Brown get all the credit and Rick Carlisle doesn't? Flip Saunders. Flip Saunders should get 0 credit. 0.0.
Right. He lost us.
Not only did he lose us, he's the reason Ben Wallace left this team and took $6 million more to go to Chicago.
Yeah, seriously.
And so Flip Saunders, love that they tried to bring in the offensive influx because it was a defensive-based team. They were trying to get that.
Yeah.
Flip didn't destroy the team, but he also didn't fulfill everything that they were capable of.
He was too soft for Detroit.
Yeah.
Now, Larry Brown gets the credit because of what Larry Brown did before he was a Pistons coach.
100%.
Right? He won a national championship at the college level. Every program he went to, he turned into a winner, and that's what he was known for in the NBA. He went to the Clippers, perennial cellar dwellers. What did he do? He got them into the playoffs. The thing with Larry Brown, the consensus was Larry's one of the greatest coaches of all times, but NBA-wise, he's never been given the talent to win. He's always won with lesser talent. The Pistons were the first time that he ever had that level of talent, and he was able to get the most out of them. Now, did Rick Carlisle get a bad deal? Yes, Rick Carlisle got a bad deal. He took that team from 32 wins to 52 wins and got them into the playoffs and some of that experience.
Yeah.
But this is what it goes back to all the time when we're talking about replacing coaches and when people want to throw people out with winning records like Rick Carlisle. I'm always 99% of the time against it.
Yeah.
Unless you can get a Larry Brown.
Yeah.
Throwing out a Rick Carlisle for somebody that's unproven and that you're trying to parlay, I don't like it. Like what they did, what the Lions have done with bringing Patricia in.
Yeah.
When you already had a proven winner in house. I don't like that move. But when you can make a move from an up and coming great coach to an established Hall of Fame coach, you need to make it. And Larry Brown not only delivered on what they brought him in here, he did it year 1, and then he took them back to the finals year 2.
Yeah.
So that's why, to me,
7.
Larry Brown is the GOAT. I mean, as far as, well, I was going to say as far as Pistons coaching, but then Chuck Daly.
Chuck Daly, man.
He's top 2 of Pistons coaches all time.
But you got to remember that Rick Carlisle was a first-time coach when he took over this team for George Irvin, who took over for Alvin Gentry. They went 32-50. That's why they brought in Rick. Rick was a guy that restructured this team and found their identity with him, but he did not endear himself to the staff and front office of the Detroit Pistons. He wasn't not just unliked, he was disliked.
Yeah.
And so it was time for him to go on. In hindsight, Rick Carlisle's career looks a lot better because he had quite a few stops where he couldn't get it done. It wasn't until he got it done with Dallas that this guy was kind of anointed as one of the better coaches in NBA history and in current day. So if he could,
sorry to interrupt you, but that bears the question. Do you think if the Pistons would have kept with Rick, that they would have gotten the championship eventually? Maybe not that next year in 2004, but maybe 2005.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so. I think Larry Brown was the piece. I'm not sure that Rick Carlisle could have handled a Rasheed Wallace. And that's my thing. Rasheed Wallace, again, you draft Carmelo Anthony, and that trade never happens. Darko is your cigar for a reason. We get a championship because of him. But when you look at the Rasheed trade, that's a volatile guy who's a major piece of that championship team that very few coaches, I think, could assimilate into a veteran, leadership quality team that the Pistons were at that time.
Yeah. I give all of the credit to Larry Brown.
Yeah.
He did a great thing. Could Rick Carlisle have gotten Chauncey Billups to that MVP caliber? I don't know. Larry Brown's specialty was point guards. At one point in the ABA, Larry Brown had 20 assists in a game.
That's what he was known for.
That's what he was known for. He was known for coaching those guys up. So great phone call, great question.
Yep.
But yeah, that to me is why I give all the credit to Larry Brown. He's the guy who got us over the top. But I never disrespect Rick Carlisle. I think what he meant to the Pistons to get us to that point was everything. You needed to transition from the alternators with John Barry, Chucky Atkins to the Larry Brown
alternators.
Squad. Yeah.
There was a time when he had left and went to another team, maybe even his third team by then, and I was heckling, and he was right in front of me. I said, "Rick, why does everybody hate you?" And he turned to me and just very honestly goes, "I don't know." So, that'll tell you a lot about mid-90s Rick. It was the teens, the years, or excuse me, not mid-90s, but the aught years, the first decade of the 2000s. That was the first Rick. The next incarnation of Rick was when he was able to take the Dallas Mavericks to win a championship. Now you're seeing Rick Carlisle in the 20s as a guy that teams want to bring in, not as a stepping stone coach as he was seen for a long time in his career, but now as a guy that you can bring in for a team that's ready to win a championship, much like the way Larry Brown was when he was brought in 20 years ago.
Yep. That's a good call. Good call.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate that.
Half good, half bad.
Good. But you want to talk about a little WNBA, Anson. I can't believe we're going to do this, but here we go.
With 5 minutes
it
left.
keeps popping up, and I'm telling you that these two girls, whether Reese is going to be, or Angel Reese is going to be remembered for her game or for her villainy, she is not letting herself be forgotten. She put out an absolute Karl Malone elbow last night. She wasn't going for the ball.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
I'm not. I've spoken enough on this.
But what do you want from her? The girl offers nothing to the game except being the nemesis of Caitlin Clark.
I know.
Right? So
I know.
If I'm her, my brand is I'm Caitlin Clark's nemesis. So what am I going to do? Every time I see Caitlin, it's on site because that's the only way I'm going to get mentioned in anything.
And Caitlin is going to become a killer because of what she's going through.
I don't know about that either.
She's on the MJ path right now, I think.
Listen, she's getting put through the fire. How she responds will say a lot of things. But yeah, it is interesting, the jealousy that this girl...
The Clark rules.
When she steps on the court, what happens and how everybody's just so against her, which is fine with me. Like the WNBA has tried doing basketball for years, right? They've tried basketball, and basketball as their main product didn't work. So now they're trying entertainment.
That's right.
Which there's nothing wrong with
that. Great take, man.
Many sports have gone down this route, right? Sometimes you got to reverse engineer it. Now you got to build your characters, then introduce them to the game, and then maybe hopefully the skills of the game take over.
Yeah.
But to this point, what's the last sweet crossover you've seen? What's the last great handles you've seen? What's the last game-winning shot you've seen?
What's the last weak dunk you've seen?
What's the last basketball highlight you've heard about from the WNBA? There are no basketball highlights.
29-footer from Caitlin Clark. That's it.
They are now entertainment only. They're the Harlem Globetrotters of basketball, which is fine because they need to do something to create revenue.
Yeah.
They need to do something to get their eyes on them. And now you have your hero, you have your villain, you have your storyline, and you can sell it.
Yep.
And that's what it is. I'm talking about the WNBA right now. I never would be.
Same.
They've been around for how long? The Shock had how many championship teams here?
2 in a row.
Nobody gave a damn.
That's right.
And nobody will give a damn until you're never going to get guys like me to love it until the game is good.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all. And I think it was last week I was filling in and I said I love Little League Baseball, right? And people are like, oh, you'll clown WNBA basketball, but you'll stand on point for Little League Baseball. And I thought that was an interesting point at that time, and I've processed it over the week. I think that Little League Baseball has something that WNBA didn't do. The WNBA didn't size down their court. They didn't size down their rim. The only thing they sized down was the ball.
Right.
If they would to make the game smaller so these girls could play above the rim, maybe 8-foot rims so we're seeing dunks and stuff like that, it would be a little bit more entertaining because it would look more like the pros. Because when I watch 12-year-olds play in the Little League World Series, they're hitting home runs, they're stealing bases, they're diving for balls because they're playing on the proper size field. If you put them at Comerica Park, the game would be awful.
Yeah. Do you remember Jorangelo Ciente, the ambidextrous pitcher for Curacao in the World Series, of the Kids World Series?
Wasn't it a girl?
It's a boy, but
Okay.
he's playing for Mississippi State now, and he's just dominating. So we're probably going to see the very first ambidextrous pitcher at a high level in the next 3 years in the MLB.
That's kind of cool. The evolution of man.
Well, and that's the thing is these
He's his own
WNBA
reliever.
girls aren't going to graduate to dunking in the NBA
He'd
one
be
day.
his own reliever.
Yeah, exactly. But so, I mean, when you're talking about Little League Baseball, you're talking about guys that you're going to be seeing and talking about at the minor league and college level, and hopefully one day the MLB level. You're just not going to see that with anybody in the WNBA.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, Charles.
it's interesting to see what happens. The WNBA is being talked about. The Olympics are being talked about. Will the numbers continue? We'll see. I mean,
Olympics won't be watched without Kaylin, that's for sure.
I mean, listen, the USA is going to win the Olympics in women's basketball, whether they put anybody on the team, honestly.
true.
Like, they're dominant.
It's
And
like our
let's be
soccer
honest,
squad.
half the world doesn't allow their women to do sports anyways. So they're competing against
true.
half the world.
This is true.
But yeah, Caitlin Clark, have fun watching her. If you guys watch it, I honestly haven't watched a Fever game, but I'm hearing a lot about it. I'm seeing a lot about it, and all I'm getting is the entertainment aspect. I'm getting no real basketball highlights, and I want basketball.
Yeah. I kind of
makes
have
me a
tuned
bad
in. I'm
person,
not
so
going
be
to
it.
lie.
Bad person.
I haven't watched a
Does that
WNBA
make me
game
a
since
bad
we were
Bad
still kids.
person,
For
you.
wanting basketball?
You want to watch basketball?
watch
Good basketball?
Good basketball.
Bad.
Yeah.
Awful.
KG, real quiet over there.
I'm enough, so I'm gonna just let y'all have it, man. I'm done talking about
No.
that.
I honestly haven't heard your take. Are you pro? Like, are you good with everything WNBA?
I just feel like she needs to earn her lumps, man. She'll be
Oh,
okay.
yeah.
I'm
Just
okay
let
with
her
the
be
lumps.
great.
I love
care
that we're talking about it.
I don't care about none of the media narrative. Just let the girl be great. That's all.
That's
I
right.
Yeah. Let the game play itself out, but
Yeah, man.
that's when it's got to be game focused. Now
Right,
it's narrative focused, and that's why it's storylines instead of ball play. And I just want ball. I just want to watch ball. Thank you guys for tuning in today. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. I am out of here. Anson's out of here. KG's out of here.
Crew back tomorrow.
You're out of here? Are you?
The crew back tomorrow.
Crew back tomorrow.
Yep.
You back
Hopefully.
tomorrow?
Yep.
Now put the camera on yourself.
Good luck tonight, Luca.
Good luck tonight, Luca.
Good luck
Appreciate
tonight,
y'all.
Luca.
Extend it to 6, baby. We're going for 6.
He got Jesus behind him.
Do
so-
it.
Mavs in 7.
There we go. Love it.
Hey, Charles.